It's not chewed, it's just fraying. Hey guys. Go press record over there.
I press record. There's a red square,
Yep.
red flashing away, and the time is 5:05.
Cool.
Is that okay? Drinks are back here. Hello, friends. I'm not sure how many trailers we're gonna watch. How are you guys doing today? Good morning. It was a very rainy day here in Tokyo. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lino, bro. May 1st? My nephew's birthday is on the last day of April, but my sister's an accountant. And this is one of the only years she can, like the last year she can get away with saying that it's his birthday, but actually it's not. They're celebrating on May 1st. So, right now you share a birthday with my nephew. Saw the we're live tweet. Good stuff. And we are recording.
Need to shove down that way. All to the way to the edge, unfortunately.
That's okay. You don't mind. Yes and yes.
You can come back a little bit.
I hope your job's going well, Ashcraft.
I wonder how effective it is at cooling on the lowest fan setting. Because it doesn't need to be full blast.
I'm willing to try it out.
Alright. I guess we're ready. Hey buddies, welcome to an emergency show and trailer because what the fuck is this? we already know that a Sonic the Hedgehog movie was coming, but we haven't seen anything except for, and I don't think we covered this on the show, a little poster showing his legs, which were weird. I saw it on Twitter, but I don't think we ever covered it on the show.
I didn't see that, actually.
It was weird. So let's see how weird Sonic might look in his full body spec.
It's obviously going to be amazing.
The only other thing I know is that Jim Carrey's in it. That leaked right before the trailer dropped.
I didn't know
So Jim
that.
Carrey's in it. Here we go.
Green Hill Zone!
There goes the blue blur.
He's going too fast.
Oh my god!
Yes!
He's in it. Oh my god. What?
Gotta go fast.
This is self-aware jokes, right?
20 minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest. This needs someone who can figure out exactly what we're dealing with.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
What the?
Eggman.
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
Nope!
Wrong. I'm in charge.
Allow me to clarify. In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
Listen, pal. I don't know if you realize.
I'm sorry, Major. What was your name?
Benny. Nobody cares. SFPD. Meow. Oh, come on. Okay, pal. I want answers.
Basically, it looks like I'm gonna have to save your planet.
Robotnik.
Sonic comes from another planet.
Oh, is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking. Whatever this creature is, our job is to secure it, neutralize it, see what makes it tick.
The rings are Stargates.
Look at this. I took 9 million steps today.
Stay in there and be quiet.
How much longer? I can't breathe in here.
Do you have your child in that bag?
No. I mean, yes, it's a child, but it's not mine.
It's not your job.
Smells like body spray in an old ham sandwich.
So the girl's with them somehow?
No, she's just into this shit. Nice.
Wow.
That looks good.
So there's a lot to
Robotnik.
unpack
Looks
here.
good.
I don't know where to begin. All right, so when it starts, it immediately seems like it's just going to be jokes, like almost taking the Sonic franchise and saying, hey, we know that half of what makes Sonic still relevant is memes.
Yeah.
By the fact that he says, gotta go fast. And then the sort of like coupling, like what looks like a serious detective, small town detective,
Oh, his little hands.
like maybe a serious setting with like a very not serious
Gotta go fast.
subject. Mixing those two and like having that as like playing off each other and
Yeah.
just being ridiculous.
Yeah.
20 minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest. This needs someone who can figure out exactly.
Okay, so first of all, Jim Carrey is back and he's acting like his old Jim
Yeah,
Carrey
that's
self.
really interesting. It's been a long time since he's played.
This type of character. He was in
Yeah.
the Dumb and Dumber sequel where he
Oh,
played,
yeah, I didn't see that.
but that's not really like, what's happening type Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
That's more like, that's a different character altogether.
Yeah.
This is more like Ace Ventura style Jim Carrey, which I didn't think we would ever see again.
Yeah.
Because he's in a different part of his life now. Like he does like art, like
every day.
beautiful,
Yeah.
multi-mixed media, therapeutic looking art. He even tweeted, I saw, he said, I'm glad you all like my art. By the way, I also like acting. Check out this trailer.
This trailer?
Yeah, almost like assuming that anyone who's following him on Twitter right now is only because he's an artist, not because he's an actor. I hope he's cashing in, because what a weird one to choose. Like, think about Jim Carrey's career trajectory right now. Like, doing all these comedy films, being a comedian, being on, like, In Living Color and stuff like that, making his way into Ace Ventura, then these big blockbuster mega hits, like, well, not hits, but, like, huge budget, The Mask, stuff like that, doing Dumb and Dumber, going through all the comedy, and then going into, like, Spotless Mind, Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and, like, these more serious films were showing that he's just amazing. Like, Man on the Moon. Incredible acting chops, and then sort of like disappearing for a while, and then coming every so often just to like, maybe get a paycheck, like you know.
He did Kidding
Kick-Ass.
recently.
Kidding, I didn't see that. Oh,
No,
I
we
want to
haven't
fucking
seen
see
that.
that.
Yeah.
Where he plays the. Yeah, all right. Anyways, enough on Jim Carrey, but it's so weird to see him come into something like this, where really, like Jim Carrey received a script in this part of his life, and he was like, Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, I'm in. Dr. Eggman. Did he play? Like he's of a generation that might have played a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe like this is like a sort of. Does he have kids? Maybe that could be a part of it. I don't think he has kids. No, because
I don't know.
a big part of his like little short film that they put on Vimeo of him talking about his art career is he had a really bad breakup. Like I don't think he's had an actual traditional marriage with kids and everything yet. Which makes it say, it's just. What the?
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
Nope.
I'm
Wrong. I'm in charge.
Allow me to clarify.
But
In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify.
He has one
oh, he
kid.
does. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Listen, pal. I don't know if you realize.
I'm sorry, Major. What?
So about the next thing is Dr. Eggman. Like they've taken a different approach here. There's a few things. Sonic is an alien?
Yeah.
Let's go back to what Sonic the Hedgehog, which is the name of this movie, the original game. The woodland creatures have been kidnapped. That's the premise. Dr. Eggman has put them into robots, presumably because he must have woodland creatures to control the AI of the bots. I don't know why he put them inside the bots.
Me neither.
Turn them evil by putting them inside bots. And Sonic must help his woodland creature friends. Now we've got alien Sonic Hedgehog lands on Earth, and then the government brings in a third party, presumably private sector, Dr. Eggman, to handle things.
I see his hands.
They never said he was alien, but he said, I have to save your planet. Not the planet, not I have to save Earth, not our planet. He said, your planet. Kind of makes it seem like he's either an alien or he comes from another dimension, which also ties into the rings looking like they're portals to other dimensions.
Yeah. Why did you say look at his hands?
Yeah, he's got weird things on him.
Like, I
pads.
see them.
I don't know what that's all about. Who knows what that is?
What's your name?
Benny. Nobody cares. SFPD.
And the use of Gangster's Paradise
Yeah, that's
is
interesting.
hilarious.
Meow.
Who's doing Sonic's voice? Also, we've got the sheriff is from Westworld, which is funny that Becky and I just started watching Westworld, and this is the first role we've seen him out of that almost immediately. The teeth, the legs, the everything, the design of Sonic is so weird.
It is very odd.
You may have noticed so far, I'm not taking a negative nor a positive stance on this movie. I don't know what to think. All I know is that Sonic is the franchise and the movie. This is going to make people angry. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wants this. Now that I've seen it, though, I'm kind of ready to watch like a fun train wreck. Like, maybe even a self-aware train wreck.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, pal. I want answers. Basic.
CG's not great. We've seen Pikachu, like the Detective Pikachu, which actually like is showing us like the new standard for mixing, like doing a Roger Rabbit style movie.
Right. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, like mixing something that shouldn't be in real life and putting it in a cartoonish character in real life. This is like not horrible, but it's not great compared to like what we're seeing with Detective Pikachu right now.
It looks like I'm gonna have to save your planet.
Yeah, your planet.
I'm gonna have to save your planet. That's why we're assuming alien. Anybody not from our planet is alien.
No, but but thank you for asking.
I'm liking the running animation.
So am I.
It's fun.
Actually, yeah. And the first-person perspective at the beginning was neat.
No, but thank you for asking. Whatever this creature is.
You know, Jim Carrey here feels more like, out of any role, it looks like a weird mix between Pet Detective and what's his name from Lemony Snicket's Fortune Events. What's his name? Count Olaf.
Yes.
It's a weird combo of those two characters, it feels like.
Our job is to secure it, neutralize it, see what makes it tick.
Magic rings. That was a cute reference there. It says every hero has a genesis. Get it?
I get it.
You Philistines? So all these okay, that's the other thing that I don't love though, is this tech that Dr. Eggman Robotnik is using. Doesn't look quite like you expect. Like, it looks too modern.
Mm-mm.
The stuff that Robotnik always used looked all clanky and clangy, like, sort of, sharp edges and kind of like ramshackled. Like, this is, I don't know about.
He had round things, didn't he?
Yeah, he had round things, but still, like, like sort of like metal panels and stuff. Like, more, not like, this looks so slick and acrylic kind of style stuff.
Look at this. I took 9 minutes
Like,
to step.
looks like Portal type, turret type style, as opposed to what
Look at his body right now.
Yeah, I'm very. This is gonna be.
Today.
Ben Schwartz is the voice of Sonic, and he is a fan of Sonic.
And who's Ben Schwartz?
Yeah, why is he so tall?
What a weird choice. Why not make him cute? He's not cute. If there's one thing we can all objectively agree on here, he's not cute.
I don't even.
He's odd looking.
Are furries into this or no?
No,
'Cause I was gonna say,
let's get a. Can we get an authoritative opinion from a furry? Is this guy hot? Like, they could have made him adorable, like a little tiny little, puff. Instead, and that would have gotten so many more.
No.
Deaf no, says our local furries. He's like a -3 out of 10. What does the furry community think about this right now? About like, this is their champion. He's their mascot. Sonic started it all.
Did he really?
Basically, I would say if you guys had to choose one character that represents the whole furry community, classic character, what would it be? I would say it's Sonic. Sonic kissing a human girl is what encapsulates
Star
the whole.
Fox.
Okay.
Disney animated
Everybody's
Robin
gonna have their
Hood.
own.
Tony the Tiger. Sonic is up there.
Lola Bunny doesn't count. She was just hot.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Gadget from Rescue Rangers.
Quiet.
How much longer? I can't breathe in here.
Do you have your child in that bag?
No. I mean, yes, it's a child, but it's not mine.
I'm excited to see him
Smells like.
in this role. He was such a tortured soul in Westworld. Like, now getting to see him break out into something a little more playful is going to be interesting.
Body spray in an old ham sandwich.
What are those flashes showing? Oh my god. And
That's amazing.
and look where he is.
Oh, he's on a different planet.
It seems like some sort of, either he gets shrunk down or he's on a different planet. I would say this is more likely that he's in some sort of classic looking Sonic world.
Whoa.
I'm thinking you might see this movie go some weird and fun places. It
That would
could
be
end
good.
up being something surprising.
Yeah. So I have only played like the first 2 Sonics and Sonic Spinball
Do you
on
think it's
Sega Genesis.
Could you imagine if it was a Mario? crossover. Like somehow it involved Mario as well. Like it blew everybody
would be
away. And like
wild.
the big twist is that it goes to the Mushroom Kingdom. Because I mean, Nintendo does play nice with Sega these days,
Yeah.
or with Sonic as a franchise. Oh my God, this
I
is
totally can't see that happening.
so weird.
It is weird. This is a weird. It's a weird thing. From the producers of Fast and Furious.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a side character with
yeah.
him. Like they're gonna be solving crimes. It looks like they're going to Superman's farm.
It totally
just
looks
outside
like
of
that, right?
Smallville. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
exactly what it looks like.
They're going to
me.
the Smallville farm. And go to Egypt. Is there anything we missed, guys? Like I tried to catch it all, but there's a lot of imagery here, and I'm not a Sonic franchise expert. Evidently, he can stop time, or at least slow it down so much.
That's what it's like when he's running. That's what he
Yeah,
sees when he's
that's
running.
what he's like the Flash character in the X-Men movies. Interesting. Interesting.
I'm not super upset.
I'm not super upset either because, again, I'm not super invested in the franchise. Like, nothing could... I've seen on Twitter people calling it an atrocity.
Yeah.
I don't
His
think...
teeth are weird.
Like...
I will say that, and his body is odd. But who's the body shame, man?
Yeah. And, you know, with a franchise that's been so poorly handled, like, it's like, how is it really an atrocity? How could it be?
Yeah.
When you compare it to his, like, what they've done with Sonic over the years, the games that have been released for Sonic, like, how bad they've been.
Yeah.
It's a franchise that, like, kind of almost, it's tradition for it to have shit
Kind of.
done with it. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a shitty franchise, unfortunately. Like, no offense to you masochists who love the Sonic franchise.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, you guys know you.
Either be faithful or change everything. And so they went and changed everything. Like the U.S. military is involved in Sonic the Hedgehog.
I wish
Sonic's
they'd
an
like.
alien.
I mean, the best case scenario that could have come out of this is stay faithful, go back in time, pretend that Sonic the Hedgehog, the original game, is the only thing that exists in the entire franchise, and just do a faithful recreation of that or something.
Wonder what that would look
Storytelling,
like.
in like the Mario movie. Get like
Oh,
those weird dinosaur small head guys in there. Oh wow! All right. And did they say there's anything we missed? Like,
No, not really.
yeah, I guess it's all there.
But man, the way they designed him, he should wear pants.
Well, yeah, like, where are his genitals?
Where's the hedgehog's genitals? Maybe it's like sort of hidden up in like cats.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Look at this fucking character. What?
Meow.
And did we get information on what the voice actor, what else he's done?
Oh, sorry, they might have said. I didn't look. He's got crazy teeth. That actor.
Look at his teeth.
Yeah.
They're not
They're
even
like
spiky.
baby teeth.
They're weird. They're like the teeth that the guy in Something About Mary gets when he gets veneers.
Yeah.
Like, they're too perfect and too, like, white and aligned. He does other voiceovers.
Human teeth.
It's like Kermit when Grover sells him teeth so that he can sell him a toothbrush.
Yeah.
When he doesn't sell him the teeth, he forces him to the ground and installs teeth on Kermit somehow. I don't know what that... Man, now I need to see that. All right, bonus moment. I'm looking up Grover selling toothbrush to Kermit. Because now I need to see Kermit with human teeth.
He was in College Humor sketches, the voice of Dewey in DuckTales.
Oh, cool.
Parks and Rec.
Grover sells wigs. You did
my
that
God.
too. Toothbrush. Toothbrushes. Oh, fuck yes. It's already there.
Yeah, what?
Sesame Maniac or this one's... They're both... This one's longer. Maybe this one has the most... I'm just gonna. I just have to see the moment where he. So the whole sketch is like Grover trying to convince him to buy a toothbrush and Kermit convincing him that he doesn't have teeth. And then Grover sees the issue and just
fixes the issue.
What? I don't need teeth. I don't feel sorry.
I know. Okay, I got the answer.
he even apologized for the transgression of assuming he had teeth.
What are you doing? That's it. Stay down. Yeah, okay. All right, Froggy. Smile.
That's Sonic right there. That's Sonic. That's what Sonic looks like.
Oh my god.
And then Kermit basically has no choice but to buy a toothbrush from him because now he has teeth and so he needs one.
It's true. It's true.
Wow. All right, thanks
good
for
stuff.
watching our miniature emergency show and trailer. That was Sonic the Hedgehog trailer for you to see and be horrified by. Yeah, we could do the Overwatch dev update since I'm about to do. You know, before we do that, should we do a miniature, Becky and I, a miniature review of Game of Thrones episode 3, since that's kind of the...
I thought you were going to say Westworld.
No. We could do that too. Okay, anybody who doesn't want Game of Thrones spoilers, take off for a while, mute it, just mute it, and wait until you see us stop or leave. This will probably be a you know, you probably have some time to walk away and come back. But yeah, we're going to talk about this episode.
We haven't seen Endgame, no. And I don't know if we will in theaters. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee we won't.
All right, here we go. Hey buddies, so Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3 happened a few days ago. Becky and I watched it. We followed the whole series, but we've never really talked about it on the show. It's not a thing we do, show reviews, but we're going to talk about... Episode 3 was pretty big. Yeah. It was huge. It was longer.
It was long, yeah. It was like 120 minutes.
Almost double the length. Well, maybe not, but 50% longer. Long episode. It felt like its own movie that stood alone by itself. It was huge.
I wonder.
It was a spectacle. It looks like they took the budget of the last 8 seasons and poured it into one episode, didn't it?
It was.
Like going into that episode, I was complaining to Becky. I was saying, you know what they're gonna do? As Game of Thrones is done throughout its entire series, it's a big battle coming. So that means we're gonna see a few close-up shots of a small group of troops. A lot of like people talking about how massive their armies are that's going on. Just trust them. There's lots going on, a lot of fighting, but you're not going to see it. And like I was even predicting the show would open with them saying they've broken through already. Like the battle's already midway done. Like a stylistic choice to jump midway into the battle. And like, oh my God, like what happened to what's his name? He's already dead, and you just wouldn't even see a death of some characters. But they kind of went all the way. They showed it to us from like beginning to end. Like that was satisfying.
They really did.
Almost like as satisfying as the J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings big battle where like Gandalf comes in on his white horse and like beats them back and stuff. There were some shots like that were like satisfying, like that big over the top beautiful battles. Yeah. It was gorgeous. Let's just talk about that because that's the biggest positive. Was how beautiful it was. Yeah. It was incredible looking. The cinematography. And
I feel like you have a much better eye for that. Like the cinematography.
Was just gorgeous. Yeah. Like ruined by terrible video compression. Terrible video compression, and it was very dark. And so, unfortunately, and we'll just get that out of the way, a lot of people's TVs aren't calibrated right. So they have it so that their dynamic contrast is on, or they've turned the gamma down, or they've put the black levels at their lowest possible. Because for most content, that looks really beautiful.
Yeah.
You crush the blacks and it looks super contrasty, and most people like contrast.
Yeah.
So people's TVs aren't calibrated right for super dark scenes. Usually the dark parts, it doesn't matter what's going on in those, because most of the rest of it's like in the mid range of the Luma spectrum.
Right.
But because most of this took place within the lower part of that, if you get a histogram out or a waveform monitor, is going to be down here with just a few highlights up here. That doesn't mean it's improperly exposed, but because of that, most people's TVs just crushed that down, and you didn't see shit.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Some
because
people don't have TVs with gamma levels. Mine doesn't.
Yeah, but every TV has like a way. I don't know. I haven't ever owned a TV that didn't have a way to set it, to calibrate it to a point where it should look the way it should look.
Yeah.
There's websites that help you do that. Anyways, that's an aside. It's too bad that some people didn't realize that, or they didn't have their TVs calibrated right. And I did hear that some providers fucked it up.
Yeah.
Some providers literally
Actually,
fucked it up.
Quiet's from Australia.
Yeah. The Australian provider Foxconn apparently just fucked it.
Yeah.
Just their compression, they recompress what they get from HBO, and they just destroyed it.
Yeah.
But that notwithstanding, if you got the source from HBO, it was beautiful with just a little bit, could have been a little bit better compression-wise. Modern day codecs assume that the human eye doesn't care about what's in the shadows, and they just make it into a macro blocking smeared mess, mud. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as people are saying. Anyways, that aside, beautiful.
Yeah.
Some of those shots of the dragons, like when that wall of like cloud
Made in
behind them.
Vancouver,
Canada, they made those shots.
Yep.
When the dragons were going by, like just shooting the ground with the fire, and that giant wall of like cloud or storms behind
really
it,
cool looking.
and like it's all black, and all of a sudden it starts, the flames start, and it just lights it all up.
Yeah.
Like, just amazing. And then those shots where like Jon Snow is walking through whatever his fucking kingdom's called. What is
Winterfell?
Winterfell. Where he's walking through the keep, and like the dead are just falling around him.
Oh my god, I loved that part.
Yeah.
That was so friggin' cool looking.
And again, it's so gorgeous because it's so dark. It's so perfectly like crafted, that the lighting on it, that it's just, you see these shadows.
Yeah.
And sort of like just hints of like these bodies falling all around them. And it's that darkness that just adds to it, that makes it so like, it just looked like this hell on earth kind of feeling. And that's definitely what they were going for.
For some reason, it looked like relatable, almost. The fact that it was darker.
That it was so, it added stress to the situation.
Yeah. And the score, the music was amazing.
Definitely. Let's keep on just for now, the visuals. There was another thing I wanted to mention. The moment that the dead come at them, the tsunami of dead, the way they're crawling over each other and just rolling like a juggernaut of dead, that was just incredible.
Yes.
That was just an incredible shot. And like, this is a show that has had a lot of not great CG.
Yeah.
And this stuff was like movie caliber, like big screen, blockbuster caliber stuff.
I was saying to Fraser when we were watching it, I was like, that's what I expected from Days Gone.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
That's what I wanted.
When they start crawling over the wall.
Yeah, they're all just like
crawling over each other. It looked like World War Z.
Yeah.
The movie.
Right.
Where the zombies are climbing. I haven't seen it. I actually want to watch it on this show.
I mean.
When the zombies are crawling up and getting the helicopter and stuff and crawling over walls. Like, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
A game of which is coming soon that looks like it has some interesting hordes, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, yeah, darkness was an issue, but this was also its asset. It was beautiful. I can't wait to see that episode on Blu-ray, where it will truly have justice done to it, where you'll be able to see the film grain and everything.
Yes.
Without the compression, like codecs getting their ugly mitts on it. So, visuals aside, was there any other stunning visual moments that stood out? The dragon battle above the clouds was really cool.
Yeah.
And just the dragon battle in general, the way that looking frantically from side to side, the dragon's over here, and then all of a sudden he's like, they lose sight of him and he swoops up, and like all those moments were Those were incredible as well.
Yeah.
God, that was gorgeous. I think that's all the visuals. And then that, and then the beautiful inspired shot of Dothraki being represented simply by points of light, only to be extinguished.
Right. That was amazing.
And the Jon Snow and...
Just the silence.
Jon Snow and what's-her-face, Daenerys, just standing there on the cliffside watching as the most terrible tactical battle tactics that I've ever seen take place in a film played out before their eyes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Let's get on to that. Like, let's go to just... This is my biggest problem with the entire episode, as beautiful as it was. What the fuck? Who planned this battle? Whose idea was it? The dead are coming. They go over this they've been going over it for seasons now. The dead are coming. Their numbers are staggering. We cannot beat them in a one-on-one battle. So let's throw our guys out there one-on-one with them. What the fuck? Why did they throw... That's not how you use a cavalry either. They have... The Dothraki are their best on their horses, and they just go straight in?
Yeah.
No, cavalry is supposed to be used in pincher attacks. They're supposed to be used to flank. They're supposed to be used to divide the enemy. Maybe, like, in midway through battle, they could have, like, done a wedge maneuver and, like, divided the enemy.
Yeah.
That's how a cavalry is used. And I'm not, like, a fucking expert. I just have, like, you know, a few thousand hours of civilization behind my belt. But in those, you just toss guys at guys.
What's the alternative? I guess what I just
told you is the alternative. There was no reason to leave a defensible position.
Yeah.
All they had to do was hold out. Remember, the entire strategy was supposed to be get the fucking Winter Night King guy.
To Bran.
Lure him to Bran, and then we kill him because that wipes out all of them.
Yeah.
All they should have been doing was stalling. Instead of stalling, they threw their guys into them for no reason.
Well, Gravel was saying, I think it's because the Dothraki knew how to fight in the open field.
That's
but
fine.
Yeah, it wasn't great tactics.
Fight in the open field when the time is right.
Right.
They should have like had the dead come to them, had tons of trenches dug. Maybe like if I had to play devil's advocate, they didn't have time to dig all the trenches. Have them come to that first trench anyways. Light that shit up. Then have the Dothraki come in at the sides.
Yeah.
Or something. Start shooting down at them. Why did the fucking dragon come in after they mixed with the humans?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they should have had the dragon wall, like, way the fuck out there. The wall of fire, I mean.
Yeah.
Way the fuck out there. And then start burning them.
They waited for the dead to flow over their allies. So I'm going to be ranting about this for a while, because there's a lot of just so many amazing dramatic moments that were created. They were like, how do we make this dramatic moment happen? Well, we should just make something make no fucking sense. That's how that moment could happen. Mm-hmm. How do we make how do we inspire a moment of dread in the audience where their favorite characters get swallowed up by a tsunami of dead that nobody could come back from? Well, we just show that. Be like, how do they come back from it? Well, just like clip away, and when they come back, they're fighting and they're fine.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That did happen.
I was so excited for a split second when they got swallowed up, when you saw Jaime and Bryn and the Hound and all of them get swallowed up. And like right after having seen him, the scaly guy who got cured, coming back from the Dothraki with this look of terror on his face, like being like, it's over.
Yeah.
That was what it looked like. It was like, this is it. Like, they're going to die. They're all going to die. He's like, he had a look like, we have no chance. We're fucked.
You're talking about when he came back on the horse.
Yes.
That was fucking wild.
It was terrifying.
That look on his face.
Followed by the tsunami. I was so happy. I was like, wow, they're really doing it. They're just like, those guys are dead. We told you. And this is what's his name who wrote it all? What's his name? Anyways, J.R. Martin, that's what he would have written. He would have gone with that. He would have been like, and then the dead swallowed up these 5 characters, and the next time you see them, they are dead, and they're among the
walking.
army.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been beautiful. Way to just fucking... That's what Game of Thrones is, and that's why it's such a beloved series, is that people just they get unceremonious endings. They're just like, that's
Yeah,
how the world works. That's how medieval times worked. It's just all of a sudden this guy dies in the worst way that he didn't deserve. He's gone.
Yeah.
That's how it should have happened. I was so excited when I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, shit, they're really fucking going for it.
As far as how long Daenerys waited to go for it, according to the directors, the plan was never for them to go into the main battle. Jon and Dany were supposed to be looking for the Night King immediately instead.
So why didn't
But
they?
then she saw the Dothraki die and went in anyways.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Huh.
Okay, then. All right, just calculating. Let's go back for a moment when they were in their planning room and saying, our goal is to draw the Night King out. So you're telling me they had two plans? They had look for the Night King, but also bring him to Bran? And then when they finally realize, Jon Snow realizes, oh shit, the Night King, he's going for Bran. Fuck. You idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Now I have to get back.
Yeah.
The whole plan was that I, Jon Snow, with my plot armor, defeat the Night King. Was Jon Snow like convinced that he's supposed to be there to defeat him because this one man, Jon Snow, was prophesized? Was there something I missed or didn't remember? Like,
I don't think
why
so.
are they so convinced that Jon Snow defeats Night King, period? So let's go into that trap. So
Prophecy, you think? Was there something?
So, and I'm sorry Becky's not talking as much, but I I have a lot to say. I'm ranty. And we'll go back to the positives again in a bit, which Becky has a lot to say about.
Oh God.
But go back to that meeting they had in the room. They're saying, like, he's coming for me. He's going to attack me. We'll draw him out and be like, are you suggesting we use him as bait? Yes. And the master plan is, when he comes to the bait, then the Dickless Wonder will defeat him with a spear, charging head first, right at him.
Are you talking about Theon?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry to any eunuchs that we have in our audience. I just have that's a term of affection. The Dickless Wonder. Well, that's funny to say because there's like 3 of them on the show.
Yeah, it's true.
Just side note, for a lot of people who complain about how they treat women on this show, how they're just like rape targets constantly, like that it's lazy writing or something, they also are quick to castrate men. They're quick to chop their dicks off. I'm just saying, it seems like equal opportunity to me. Anyways,
They do that a lot.
They do it a lot. Those dicks get taken off quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the whole Bran. What they could have done with Bran, if he truly was the trap, they could have had it set up so that like as soon as the Night King walks in, like there are arches with dragon glass. There's a fucking like floor made out of spikes of dragon glass. There is like a thing comes down and blocks him in. The dragon, one of the dragons was waiting back to just be there or something at the end, or so many different traps that you usually have in combination with bait. Usually bait involves a trap.
Right.
In this case, it was just bait.
Yeah, it really was just bait. I think Jon was supposed to be there because he did keep saying that he had to go back for Bran.
Because Jon is just like a silver bullet for the Night King.
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah.
Just so much logical problems with the writing. And then the Night King just he summons a cloud or a storm, a winter storm that only his dragon seems to be able to navigate properly. Then instead of using it to his asset, like as it engulfs King's Landing, or what was it called? Winterfell? As it engulfs Winterfell, instead of using that to his advantage, sweeping over the little grove with the tree and blasting it with fire. He could have beelined it for it. Remember, this guy has like basically a tracker on Bran. Like he knows exactly where he is and he just wants to kill him. But the guy also has like apparently a flair for cinematics.
Yeah.
Like that for drama. So he likes to like take his time, slowly walk towards guys, stare at guys like Jon Snow as he goes like he's definitely got his greatest weakness is his dramatic timing. Anyways, he could have just beelined it right down for this place that doesn't have a roof.
Yeah.
And burned it to hell. Instead, he just floats around for a while, so that he can do this like dance in the chaos with Daenerys and Jon Snow. It would have been one thing if Jon Snow and Daenerys had the drop on him and he had no choice but to like do some like dog fighting with them in the air. He was fine. They were trying to find him.
Yeah.
He knew exactly where he was.
Stayed in the
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Then Daenerys and Jon Snow go up above to get a clear sight and try to find him. They look down, nothing but clouds. They have no idea where he is. He comes up to them for some reason to go 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Why would he want to go in a 2-on-1 battle with them? It doesn't make sense. That's not his goal. His goal is to kill Bran. That's it. That's all he wants. It doesn't make sense. More things that don't make sense. Fucking, and the reason I'm going off on this is because like the episode was so beautiful, and like it annoys me that some of this stuff ruined it for me because I get taken out of things so easily by things that don't make sense. Fucking Daenerys goes and saves Jon Snow, which everybody's like, oh my god, she does care, even though she could have just let him die because he's actually the heir, and then she would have no chance, no competition to the throne. She comes and saves him because she just loves him so much, knowing him for 2 weeks. She drops down. It's also her brother now, so it's double love.
Ooh, yeah.
Drops down, flames them all, decides to just sit there for a bit.
Yeah.
And then,
her on the horse.
Army of the Dead.
horse.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, Dragon Pal. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
You know, I lose more dragons this way, saving Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I'm always losing my dragons.
Oh yeah, he is her nephew.
Okay,
That's what
whatever.
it is,
Well, that makes it a lot better. So she just swoops down, saves him, and instead of like, she didn't even have to land to save him. She could have just been like, and then like floated off again. Instead, she lands, and again, it seems all of this done just so that the writers could create this amazing spectacle, which was amazing looking. The dragon gets covered in dead and has to shake them off and is like fighting them, and it's like you're feeling.
They could have done something where the like dead are like climbing up to her, create like this.
There's many things they could have done to make it make sense for that dragon to be covered in dead.
Yeah.
That didn't involve her landing like an idiot and letting them cover her dragon.
Yeah.
They could have done like, I don't fucking know, like maybe she does have to take a risk to go save him, swoops down, puts fire on a bunch of them, but then like maybe one of the giant dead or something just clip her or something, or like throw something at her and like it makes it go to the ground or something. Anything. It wouldn't have been hard to just write in something that made sense. That's what I'm like. That scene could have still existed and still made sense instead of her landing. Anyways, there's the shot actually right there. The crypt. They hide in the crypt, and let's just remember the whole point of Tyrion. That's the little guy, right?
Yeah.
Tyrion being down there is that they said his brain is more valuable than his fighting ability and that they need his brain. He then remarks later that my brain is better used up there because I might, like just like that other battle, I saw shit. What's my brain being reserved for?
Yeah.
Later, after the battle, when like how to more like most effectively clean up all these bodies, like maybe he'll know. Why aren't they? And so they put him down in the crypt, and despite him being this tactical and like this clever in the books, right? He's like put forth as like the most clever guy that ever it was.
Yeah.
He's a trickster. He's a clever guy. He always sees like problem solving before anybody else does. He didn't make the connection that the crypt was full of dead, as this dead king who can raise the dead is coming.
Yeah.
He didn't see that.
Yeah.
Neither
it's
did
silly
the
that
spider.
Tyrion didn't. Yeah.
The second most clever man in all of the world.
My thought is maybe they didn't know, like, in the crypt it's bones. Like, I don't know, maybe they thought that there was a statute of limitations on.
So maybe, like, they could have used more information from the tied for second other most clever man in this entire story, Cuck McGee. Sam.
Yeah.
Whose wife is down there. He's a maester. He's fought these. He did not make the connection that the crypt had bones that could raise. He's fought ones that look like bones. He knows this. He has this information and didn't make the
I
connection
feel
either.
like we didn't see them like really like skeletons until this
Yes,
battle.
we did. We have.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen pure bone because I remember even in past episodes being like, how do you stab a guy with dragon glass when he's nothing but rib? Like, does it count when it just goes into the ribs? Like, what counts as a stab with dragon glass when they're only bone? That's what I remember thinking that in previous episodes. There you go.
Brandon Mira
So many
fought
things.
bones outside the 3-hour Raven area. Okay.
That aside, they're in the crypt. All the dead are raising. They're killing them all. I got excited again. I'm like, wow, a slaughter. This is horrible.
And there's
This is like
it's full of
women and children. This is like Red Wedding caliber horror.
This is fucking crazy.
Then
And there's
like
screams
and there's like people clawing the ground,
Yeah.
being dragged into the darkness. The Ice King is defeated. The smoke clears. They look up, and then it shows a shot of like 3 of them on the ground, and most of them are still there.
Everybody
all the ones that
we've
matter
seen.
are still there.
Yeah. So we can only assume that
Anybody with a name in the script is still
Everyone else
alive.
died.
Everybody's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody survived. Literally everyone
not
survived.
everybody.
Literally every single character.
Fraser,
So
not
who dies?
everybody. Lady Mormont,
Uh-huh.
the little girl
Okay.
that killed the giant.
Oh, so
fucking
you think
badass.
she survives? Oh, she
No, she's
dies.
dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty epic death, and that was pretty cool. That was actually probably one of the best done, most believable scenes.
I thought that was really fucking cool.
Because her like sort of stubbornness causes her to get injured to start with.
Yeah.
Her bravery finally her stature is finally shown to be the weak link that does still exist. She is only a little girl despite her bravery.
Yeah.
So she gets swept to the side by a giant, then stumbling, like catching her breath, works up the courage to run at him, and then I don't know if it was a part of her strategy, but at least she thought on her feet,
Yeah.
or literally did not, off her feet, and stabs him in the eye. That was pretty epic, because it was just sort of that hopelessness, that sort of hopeless scene.
Yeah.
Just pure, like, this is horrific.
Yeah.
Horror.
But then she
Very well done, and she dies.
Yeah.
And that was great. It was a good death.
Jorah,
Who the fuck is that?
another Mormont.
What's a Mormont?
Their last name.
Who's Jorah?
He's Daenerys.
Oh,
like,
they're related, those two?
Yeah.
The little girl and him are related?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
her uncle.
okay. I just call him Scale Man.
Yeah, so Scale Man,
Scale Man.
he died.
He dies.
Yeah,
And
which is
I think he'll come back. Did we really see him die?
oh,
Didn't he
fuck
just
if
close his
comes
eyes?
back. Yeah, maybe, but
I think the
like
next episode
Daenerys was like broken the fuck up. So if he comes back alive, like again, that's fucking stupid.
that would be.
They're cousins. I thought that it was okay.
It's very
Maybe it
strongly
was
implied
cousins.
he's dead, but I'm still holding out that he might survive.
That bullshit.
Um,
Theon,
Theon seems to be definitely dead, I think.
he seems pretty dead.
Maybe.
He had like a lot of blood coming out of his mouth.
Maybe.
He's dead.
Yeah, they wanted to really give him a sending off. And that's the thing, is that, you know, the early seasons of Game of Thrones were so amazing because J.R. Tolkien, or whatever he is,
J.R.
Martin. So they really are
George
George
R.
R.R. Martin,
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay, so George R.R. Martin clearly had nothing was sacred. He didn't give a shit, like who dies and how. Now you've got showrunners who have an entire, like, one of the most popular shows ever, and they have all these people talking on Twitter, and it feels like it's script writing by counsel of the masses now. They are too afraid, I think, to sacrifice any character that is a fan favorite without at least wrapping up giving them closure.
Yeah.
And what I've always loved about Game of Thrones, I thought that people die without closure.
Yeah.
I loved it. They die without getting to say
It was
goodbye to certain
fucking
characters,
wild.
without seeing other characters that
Yeah.
they really should have seen again, like
Yeah.
if you wanted to have closure. And it feels like almost like they're going the route of fan fiction. They're jumping the shark to the point where every character has to have a last heroic look, a last heroic like exchange with a character that really matters. Like, oh my god, they finally saw each other and they said
Yeah.
it. That's where it feels like it's going.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and you have to wonder what George R.R. Martin's. He's been putting input, and he seems pretty happy with where the show's going. But will he ultimately say, "All right, that was fun, but now I'm going to write the real ending"? Where the paths diverged. Here's my books, and I have a different idea.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
will he do that?
Yeah, what about Ghost?
Nobody gives a shit about the dogs. Nobody gives a fuck about the dogs, and that alone makes me want every Stark to die. Fuck the Starks. They have all these cute puppies, and they've pet them once, maybe in a shot, twice.
Direwolves don't really love to be pet.
Well, it doesn't. The point
Maybe
is,
they do. I don't
they don't
actually
seem
know.
super broken up about it when one of these guys die, and they always die to the worst situations.
Wasn't Sansa like really broken up about her dog?
Doesn't feel like it. I want every Stark dead. Starks can kiss my ass. Arya first. That's because I know she's a fan favorite, so I'm just gonna say it. Arya should die. I want all of them dead. Here come the dislikes. In the books, they are making a wolf army. Arya's wolf goes out to start a wolf army. That would be cool, because these wolves look like they have personalities. They look like more than just creatures. They look like
I don't really remember that.
they actually have, like, cognitive thought behind their eyes. That's what they made them look
Right.
like and feel like, these dire wolves. That it has always bothered me, how the Starks don't seem to give that big of a fuck
Ew,
about
weird.
the wolves.
He wanted Jon and Arya to have a romance. Barf.
Sure. Do it. Fucking do it. Like, I like George R.R. Martin's ideas better. I have to reiterate, the reason the show is so successful is it's been so avant-garde. It
Yeah.
does things that you don't expect from writing this day and age.
Oh, the Red Woman died.
The Red Woman seemed to just kind of peace out.
Yeah.
She was sick of being done wrong all the time.
Yeah, man.
She's like, you know what? I predicted I would die tonight. Still hasn't happened. And barring a slip in the shower, I'm just gonna go ahead and like get this.
Disintegrate
I'm just
out
gonna
here.
disintegrate out for you guys. Because I know you're sick of it. I'm sick of it. I was
Yeah.
wrong again.
Yep.
I didn't die.
Eye patch guy who had been resurrected 9 times.
This is the dude who
guy.
resurrects infinitely. So don't hold. I'm not gonna put
No,
him on the
he's
list.
totally dead because
Why?
the Red Woman is.
Was she the one bringing him back?
She was the one bringing
No,
him
it was the
back,
fire
wasn't
god
it?
brings him back.
It was just straight
His
up the
buddies
fire
just
god?
pray and then he comes back. And that's what's funny is that there's how like he dies and they're also convinced that this is the one. He's definitely dead now.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. The Red Woman said this is what his purpose was, this final moment, and she's always right. So
always
he's
right.
definitely dead now.
It was his buddy priest.
So there was that.
And like he's hardly a main character. We're like the guy with the eye patch. So
Any other big plot problems? Mainly just like it was just dishonesty. I thought a lot of the as beautiful as the cinematographer was, the shot planning and the way it panned out and the editing, the sequence of scenes was dishonest. It's like those shots in movies where a character, picture Monty Python, the guy's running towards the screen, he's getting closer, just before it seems like he's right there, it clips away to something else, comes back, he's far away again. That was what they were doing in a roundabout way, with the way the main characters seemed to be really at their death's door, over and over, hopeless situations. Scaly Man sitting there protecting Daenerys, who through all her time with the Dothraki has never learned to fight in any form or way.
yeah,
Which
I
goes
was
completely
wondering
against her
that.
personality.
Has she ever fought?
Like, that goes against her personality, that she would never want to learn a little bit of fighting.
Yeah.
She seems to have never picked up a blade before, the way she holds it. Anyways, he's protecting her. And at one point, a top-down shot with 7 dead, just full tilt running towards him, and he's like only facing 2 of them. It's like, he's done. Come back, hey, he killed them all. How'd he do that?
Yeah.
Who knows how he did it? The point is that you felt the dread of that character dying again and again and again. And when you're that dishonest with the audience, when you constantly are tricking them into thinking they're seeing the final shot of a character, it takes away from the power of those shots, unfortunately. Yeah. And it used to be in Game of Thrones, you were always on the edge of your seat because you really believe they're willing to do anything.
Yeah.
To like just suddenly kill a character, like, you know, I don't want to bring up Red Dead, but like, you know, there's moments where it's just like unceremonious, like, shit.
Yeah.
You just did that to that guy?
Yeah.
He's gone. Yeah. Fuck.
You can control this, and this is what you fucking did with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, somebody's talking about how the last 10 or 15 minutes was really incredible.
The music.
Oh, I'm such an asshole. I hated that. Remember how I said, are we going to wrap this up? Like, the slow walk of the Ice Night King and the staring between him and Bran, and like everything was so slow. Like, get to the fucking point. I thought the pacing was so good up until that moment in the show.
Thought the battle was like, as much as I loved it and thought it was great, I thought it was too long. Like, the part inside Winterfell, the castle, where Arya was being quiet and like sneaking around. I thought like that basically all could have been cut.
Why did it happen?
Yeah.
Suddenly,
I don't even understand how she got in there.
The battle takes a pause.
Yeah.
Suddenly within the keep, you can't, in the castle, in the library, you can't even, like, they must have amazing soundproofing. You can't even hear a battle outside. It's just dead silent. Next, the dead have this ultimate respect for the rules of the library. They're going like ravenous everywhere they go. Like, you see a dead guy, as he turns a corner and sees a guy, he goes and goes at them. Like, they do these unnatural, weird, twitching movements. Like, they can't be controlled. They get into a library like, books. Shh.
Yeah.
Like, they know. They should have just, if they had breached into the walls, they'd just be swarming the keep. They should have been just like in the halls everywhere, just flowing like water.
Yeah.
The way that initial tsunami looked like was coming. Instead, they just like, that was just a weird.
Yeah.
And again, a bunch of really cool shots, like a really cool moments that were created by that thing that they just like, they had to.
It did seem like they just wanted to shoot a stealth sequence.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that they heard the blood dripping, but not Arya's footsteps or breathing or anything else because she's so silent. But it's this thing that she can't really
there's cool moments. Just
but
that it's unfortunate that the writers felt that things that make no sense had to be written to make these moments happen. Like, I'm picturing in the writer's room, there was this guy, maybe one guy, constantly saying like, so guys, this is looking good, all right, should we go ahead and write this scene then, if that all the broad strokes make sense? And one guy being like, I don't think they make sense. And be like, shut up, nerd. And they like stuff him in a locker.
Oh, but he was
That's
the
what
voice of reason.
Yeah, there was one guy who was the voice of reason, be like, but wait a minute, why would they do that?
If you just didn't have that voice.
I will fucking destroy you.
The battle was filmed for 55 nonstop days. My God.
Night shoots. It said that it really wore on the cast, which
Holy
probably
shit.
You could probably see like in the stress on their faces. Like, let's say something positive. The actors did amazing.
Oh God, yeah.
Some amazing scenes.
And the choreography for the fighting
was really good.
So good. What was it recently where we were like, oh, it was Westworld. We saw some fighting in the background and it was shit. It was like, yeah. We liked Westworld, but
it's a moment where they're. Yeah,
I was looking for that. I was looking for like
extras
background.
trying to make themselves look busy fighting, but
that even
no, it was
amazing.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Jamie and Brynn.
Yeah.
The looks on their face of terror and desperation through the whole fight made it so convincing to the audience. Like, this is hopeless.
Yeah.
They were not heroic looking.
No.
They looked terrified and
they were
dead
gonna
people.
Die.
They are going to die now.
Yeah.
Oh. But fucking Sam is alive. He's on the front fucking lines. Maybe even barring, even considering the fucking tsunami of dead, that maybe the greatest fighters, these like mountainous characters such as Brynn and the Hound, could somehow, with their broadswords, just swath them down and cut a way out.
Yeah.
Sam survives. He's
Yeah.
basically blubbering and shaking the whole time, and he survives yet again.
Yeah.
Even though he's in the shit. He's in the thick of it, right on the front lines. Why do you have to put him there?
He's good at hiding.
He wasn't hiding, though. He was right there on the parapets, or between, if that's what you call them, those little things as the dead are climbing up over the wall. He's like a little deacon.
That one guy did die to save Sam. That's true.
Maybe not shown, not
Everybody
pictured
else
here.
was
90% of the people who
sacrificing
died were to
themselves.
save Sam. Maybe that's what it was. Like, that's
Yeah,
just...
they were literally all over him. He was on the ground.
And
that was near the end, but...
Tell me, what is the purpose for including him in the battle? He's a fan favorite of certain people's, and they wanted to keep them invested as well.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure that every different type of fan out there who likes different characters had their guy in the mix. There made no sense for him to be out there. Why did he decide? Why was he more Tyrion? Out of the two characters, when both are told basically the same thing, this isn't your fight, keep yourself safe, you're important, you're smart. Out of the two, Tyrion would be more stubborn than him. He would have been the first to say, all right, I get it, and walked away. He's got a family, he's got a kid.
Yeah.
You've got Tyrion as the drunk guy who's like, I've had my life, I'm ready to end it. He even said, it would almost be fitting for me to die ripped apart by dead and not give her chance.
I expected him to grow over the seasons and become capable, but he hasn't grown. He's still just a coward. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Usually you would include a character in scenes like this for the purpose of character development. There is no character development happening. There was no reason for him to be there.
Yeah.
There was no it made no believable sense that he would include himself. Pod apparently survives as well, but he's awesome now because he was trained by Brynn, so maybe that's why he survives.
If George R.R. Martin intended him for Sam to be at the end, but didn't know what to do with him, he should have been in the crypt.
Then he should have been in the crypt. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy writing. Bam.
Yeah.
But it's just pure, fan service. That's what it is. I'm calling that.
I really loved Tyrion and Sansa's interactions.
Yeah, those were actually interesting.
I thought that was really cute.
That may have been the reason for them to be in the
really well
crypt
done.
together. Maybe that's why they really wanted those scenes with them together, so they wrote them into the crypt.
Yeah.
And they couldn't come up with a better reason for Tyrion to be down there.
I loved that Sansa was up first, and then Arya was like, bitch, you gotta go down, because you don't know what to do here.
Yeah, how was she up there first, and then he wasn't? They should have had him injured early or something. Maybe that should have been, a reason for him to go down there. He got, injured. It's look, you yourself would admit you're not the best fighter in the world on a good day, but now you've, lost a foot, so just go down there.
Right.
Give it a reason for him to not be brave in this particular battle when he's been so brave in other ones.
Yeah.
This is it just sounds like I hated it, but it was this is why I'm ranting so much. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. Some of the best TV I've ever seen. Except for the writing, it's just so dumb. What the fuck?
After the episode, I was like, that was so great. That was so good. And Prince was like, it was.
It was,
It
but
was.
what the fuck? Who was in charge of these battles?
Yeah.
And they sit there, they put out the Unsullied are behind. The Unsullied are the spearmen. They put spearmen behind swordsmen? That's not how tactics work. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
The initial onslaught of the enemy, especially if they have horses, but they don't have horses, apparently, well, some of them do, but the point is, when the charge comes, you want the spearmen at the front.
Yeah.
Instead, they put the swordsmen at the front, and then once the retreat was needed, then the Unsullied kind of make a wall to be sacrificed, apparently. To be
The Unsullied kind of killed it.
Sure.
They were
yeah, for what they did, but they shouldn't have been
strong.
They should have been. They could have just held down the fort, brought the dead in. I don't even know how Winterfell has stayed the way it has for so many years. How did they ever defend themselves? They're in in an open field.
Yeah.
Who builds
I
a
don't know.
fucking castle there?
Well, no, they have the castle walls.
So? That's a castle. King's Landing, did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's a castle. That you have to have a defensible location. Like, if they had a place where they could funnel them into something, like, you know, through an area, then they could take them out as they came through. Because that's, when you're dealing with Horde, I sound like I'm Sun Tzu or something, but it doesn't take a guy who's written The Art of War to realize that this was dumb. Funnel them into shit and just, like, they're so stupid, just, like, mow them down. Or make them clog up an area with themselves and they can't get through or something.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things they could have done to, like, make the Ice King impatient and come for Bran and then just deal with him.
Yeah.
And then fucking Ice King comes and Arya decides that it was a tactical advantage to her to scream before stabbing him.
Yeah.
This character who is the stealthiest of all the characters.
I never thought about that.
This
that
is-
she screamed.
She's a girl who, like, moves like the night, like a fucking ninja. You don't even know she's there before she's, like, stabbing you with the pointy end.
Yeah.
And yet she decides to leap into the air and scream.
It's just common courtesy.
It's common courtesy. And then he turns and grabs her. Like, luckily she thinks to do some weird maneuver where she drops a knife into her other hand.
My question is, why didn't the Night King immediately break Arya's neck?
Exactly.
Good question,
Because the
yeah.
Night King is obsessed with these moments of fuck you. This guy moves like a guy with a chip on his shoulder. Like, who hurt him? Like, really.
He's 10,000 years old, isn't he?
He's
like,
got a vindictiveness to him that
he's got years of...
I'm not sure we'll ever
chips.
get an explanation as to why the ice...
The Night King loves drama.
Yeah, but he's also got, like, pure, like, vindictive anger. Something about his life or what has happened on the... Like, he doesn't just want to... He's an Ice King. He should be cold and calculating and, like, emotionless. And he looks like it at first. But then, every time there's a moment to make somebody feel bad about the situation, he pauses to soak that in.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's, like, his thing. That's his jam.
I like the callback when Arya did the knife drop with Bran. When they were sparring.
Oh, really? That
And-
happened? I
yeah.
didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And Bran was like, shit.
It's unfortunate because, like, while it was a beautiful spectacle to behold, it now we're going into the final episodes that is going to, like, you know, the dust is settled and we have to see, there's going to be the drama between Cersei plus Daenerys plus Jon Snow plus you have the wild, how are they going to wrap all this up? You have the wild card of the true heir, or you have many true heirs, including Robert Baratheon's bastard. And then you have Podrick is somehow also? No, he's not. No, Podrick's just Pod. Never mind. He's just got a big dick. That's the only thing.
Gendry.
But yeah, you got Gendry, who's barely ever shown, right? But he's the one who has that unfortunate scene with Arya.
Yeah.
And that's a big nope. I know that wasn't this episode, but no. I don't.
You're
She
not
grew
into
up on
that.
the
You
show.
don't want
It's not
that.
right. That ain't right. You don't have her take her clothes off.
I was
She's a
wondering
little girl.
if there was going to be another big battle with Cersei, and Fraser was like, no. But I feel like there has to be another
No,
battle,
well-
right?
Okay, so here's where I think about that. She's in King's Landing. Her whole plan was to see them weakened by the Ice King. She didn't care who wins. She figured if the Ice King's going to fight them, a clash against the North, it's all the armies in the North. She has no idea how big the Ice King's army, but she just feels, she's got a pretty reasonable assumption that the loser will be weak, or the winner will be weakened. The loser will be obliterated,
Right.
and she'll clean up the loser.
Yeah.
And then she'll have, or the winner, and then she'll have the North.
Right.
North will be hers as well, and because Jon Snow's up there and Daenerys, she'll have no contest anymore. She's the king, queen. Which is very Cersei, and that's the only tactical sense that has made sense to a character yet, like in this whole thing, that she would tactically believe that, or do that. Mm-hmm. Despite, and here's just where, because they've been so dishonest with us, this is my prediction. How big do you think that the remaining army is at this point?
In Winterfell?
Yeah, how many men do you think are left?
Like, it shouldn't be much.
I'm predicting that you're going to see, like, huge shot of like tons of Dothraki, unsullied, men of the North, all fine. It's going to look just as big an army as it was before.
You think?
I am very sure of it. It should be tiny. It won't be. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. I felt like maybe 100 survived.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what they gave you, that feeling, right? That the only people who survived are basically the main characters and then like their squires or something like that, or the guys that do their housekeeping.
Yeah.
It's going to be, they're going to have tons of people, and and then there will be another battle. And I'm still predicting they blew their budget on that. If there is another big battle, and I think there will be between the big North army and hers, that you won't see it. It'll be like the battle with the Dragonfire, where it happens on the beach. You'll see a small section of battle, and I really think they've blown their budget. So if there is a big battle, you won't see it.
Huh. So there's 2 episodes left, right?
There's only 2 left?
Is that right? I'm asking.
I thought it would
Or
be a
3.
full-fledged season. Or it was a half season.
I thought it was 6 episodes, so 3 more episodes.
There's so much to wrap up. So how are they gonna, like, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's a real tragedy that George R.R. Martin didn't get to write his version first. That the popularity just became such a huge thing faster than he could like get his ideas together, that he wanted to do a like his ending, because it would have been better, guaranteed.
I picture, you said Jon will fight Cersei in the throne room as another callback. I could see
How does Jon fight Cersei? Cersei can fight?
yeah, instead of Cersei, I see it being the Mountain.
The Mountain.
Or the Hound will fight the Mountain. That's interesting, actually.
It's his own fault. He's written several other books in the last 6 years. It's pretty clear that George R. R. Martin has told the showrunners his ending, what he wanted as the ending. It's clear George R. R. Martin doesn't really care what happens at this point. He's wrote the world. He's given it to someone else. I don't think he cares. And I didn't
How
know
could he
he'd
not care?
written like several other books since. So
Yeah,
he's
me
not
neither.
even working on it. He doesn't even like seem to. It's because he's a fucking luminary. He's just got so many ideas. He doesn't care. They're not
guess.
sacred to him.
Man, but he spent so much time and effort and
He's been writing
creating
since.
this.
He's been writing since he was like, friggin' like, he can remember. Like basically, as far back as he has memories, he's been a writer.
Yeah.
Constantly making up stories about the world around him. Like he's a natural born storyteller. His probably like, he has duotangs full of like 10 other Game of Thrones probably with full worlds and stories. Mm-hmm. This one just happened to get popular. He's probably like, probably has a little bit of my type of problem where like more ideas than he wants to even work on. He just wants to put more ideas out there.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, is there any other, the positive things though? The score you're saying is really good.
I don't know, I just tried to say things, counterpoint your
Yeah.
negative as we went through.
You also liked things?
What was I telling you the other day that I liked?
All the things?
Yeah. Basically all the things. It was all great. It made me happy.
If you guys wonder why I don't give Becky a chance to talk, it's that she doesn't really want to say things at length. This is her opinion. She liked it.
I liked it. It was so fun.
Some people are just nice and go with the flow. Others are like super cynical, critical thinkers. It's more fun to be a Becky.
Mm-hmm. You loved Theon's ending?
I didn't.
I didn't have many feelings about Theon's ending, actually.
Well, it's just
It
kind
was
of
nice
weird.
that he was like,
Why did
you're home.
Bran give him the courtesy of that like, you were a good man? Bran has no emotion anymore. He's basically a robot. It's kind of odd for him to think, like, I want this guy to feel good before he dies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bran
does suck. Fuck.
Well, his character's written pretty well. Like, he is just a kid. Started getting taught by the guy. Got obsessed with, like, you know, the guy even told him, like, this stuff will change you.
Yeah.
and he became the new dude.
Yeah.
Now he's not Bran anymore, basically. He's lost his
Yeah.
self, and that makes complete sense. He's not Bran, basically. He's got the memories of Bran,
I know all this.
but Bran basically died,
Yeah.
in a way. You're expecting Bran to just set up, I got better. Although it's funny, like, he also has, despite being seemingly emotionless, he has these sort of moments where he was able to do that fuck you to Jaime, that, like,
Yeah.
sort of just, like, letting him know
The
he
things
knows.
we do
like,
for love.
yeah. I've liked Jaime's character development. I've liked where he is now as a character, this broken man, which is very interesting to me. The woman he loves hates him with a fiery passion now and wants him to die.
Yeah.
I remember there's another element here. What's his name? Bounty hunter dude who spent so much time with Jaime is now charged with killing Jaime. Will he do it?
Ah.
He was given a crossbow to do it. He's charged with killing Jaime and Tyrion on order of Cersei.
Right.
So
Bronn.
Will he? What was the last thing he said to Jaime? Is there any loyalty there? Is there any camaraderie or like?
I don't remember.
All for that castle. Give that man his castle. I don't know what he'll do. Like, does he care? He's already been jilted by reward how many times now?
Yeah.
Does he really give a shit anymore?
Yeah.
He knows that, like, their word isn't as good as, like, Lannisters have been of legend supposed to be true. Like, they're kind of, they take away now just as much as they give.
Yeah.
They find ways to lawyer their way out of their rewards, it seems. The Greyjoys...
Yeah, have to come back from taking their land back. So they could help.
So the Greyjoys... So that's what's his name, who says he's going to put a belly into Cersei, a baby into her belly. Which is basically as crazy as Cersei is now, that, like, slimy way he said that. I was saying when we were watching, I was like, that's basically the hottest thing he could have said to her right now. She's so obsessed with another child that it doesn't matter who it is.
But she's pregnant already.
So
I guess maybe she's...
So what's his army that he's got?
Making it seem like it's his baby.
He has the ships, and the army that he's transporting is the Golden Army, the one that is of the bank, the World Bank.
I think
their
so, yeah,
army.
it's theirs, right?
So they're all ready to fight for her in addition to her own troops. But the elephants didn't come, which made her really disappointed. But the Ironborn aren't going to help. So that's the Greyjoys, right? The Ironborn? Aren't that Greyjoys?
I think so, yeah.
They're not going to help.
I think they're going to help.
She's got her little band of people, but the most of the Greyjoys have just gone back to take back their stuff.
I know that
the
Theon's sister went back.
The Greyjoys have always just protected their own. Where are the allegiances right now?
His fleet, the Golden Company, mercenary army.
What are the allegiances of the Greyjoys? The whole, like, of the Ironborn. Is it to her or him? Because he betrayed them by surprise. But was it just his pirate men that did it, or did he have all the Ironborn on his side? Did he convince them all?
I don't think he convinced them all, because she has people. Theon's
just
sister
her
has
super people. Like, loyal, I thought.
Okay.
I don't know. I think most of the Ironborn are with Euron. Yeah, because he made a big speech, and they're all... Like, the Ironborn are the shittiest people in the world. They're the worst.
Yeah.
They're allowed to continue their pirating as long as they're not pirating anybody in the Seven Kingdoms. But they're going out and raping and pillaging. Like, as much as people would like to like Theon's sister, like, that she's, like, this really cool character, she's a horrible person. Like, the entire Ironborn MO is to just ravage people in the worst way. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They're horrible people.
Yeah.
They deserve to all die.
Yeah,
and
that's her name.
I don't believe I don't understand. I can't imagine. It doesn't make any sense for her character to want to help anybody but herself.
maybe everyone will wipe themselves out and then they'll come in at the end and be like, oh fuck, all right, let's take over. And
We do not sow
sits there.
is their mantra. So they reap, but they do not sow. Yeah, they're horrible. And that's the other problem I have with this show is like, it is objectively comprised of horrible people. Everyone is a bad, terrible person. To some extent. Like, barring maybe Pod. Pod is like the only person who isn't just like, at some, maybe Brynn is completely virtuous. Brienne is completely virtuous. She's terrible.
Yeah.
She's done horrible things.
Yeah. Brienne is very horrible. Or honorable. Sorry. I was like, what?
So the thing is that my trouble with the show is like how everybody's objectively horrible, but they're making these like sort of, I don't know what the word for it is, these emblems of like virtue out of every character because they're all fan favorites and they want them all to be held up to this like Jamie is such a fan favored, like honorable, amazing man. He's terrible.
Yeah.
And like people just like, oh, forget about that. He's a good guy. Like that's what that feels like the show is doing. It's like, forget all that.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
No, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy now because like, you know, he's pretty and like lots of people are cheering for him out there. So, you know.
Who do you think will end up on the Iron Throne,
like,
guys?
Just to like, you know.
Gilly, yeah.
The fact like I remember when Jamie basically raped Cersei over their dead son, everybody was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. It was believable to me. Very believable. And they're like, there was no reason to put that in. It's like, there's no reason to put anything in.
Yeah.
There was no reason to put dragons into it. You could have told the same story without dragons, basically. You could have made her the mother of, like, I don't know, strong fighting guy. Didn't have to be dragons.
Yeah.
It's in there because it is terrible. And it's gritty and feels more real because of its super reality.
Yeah.
And anyways, he does that, and I feel like people have just rewrote the character in their head because they love him and they think he's honorable and they want him to have an honorable ending. They've decided, well, that wasn't him that raped his sister. That was the writers, and they're terrible people. It's them who are terrible, not Jamie the character.
They think his character has grown and changed. So it's
just because
okay
he's
now.
pathetic now, anybody would change when they've like become a broken person. Yes, people can grow, but that's okay. It's okay to still cheer for him. What I'm saying is just don't make him into this like friggin' different. People have been like making their own images of these characters,
Right.
And just having selective memory about what they've done. It's okay to cheer for an anti-hero. One of my favorite characters in all of any TV show I've seen that I cheered for was Horrible Man on Deadwood.
Cy Tulliver.
Both Cy Tulliver and the main. Why am I? Ian McShane's character. What's his name? That's weird that I can't remember it. But like Deadwood was full of terrible, horrible characters that I cheered for. Al Swearingen.
Ah, yeah.
That I cheered for.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to cheer for anti-heroes. They're not even anti-heroes. They're villains, basically, but I was cheering for them. One of my favorite characters that I literally cheered for, from the Purple Man, but he's not purple in the actual show.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones is the guy. He is one of the most evil people to grace the screen. But I was cheering for him because I was like, I want to see what this guy comes up with. That's fucked up shit.
Thank you.
Kilgrave fucking made a girl go into the closet and she had to pee herself because she wasn't allowed to leave. Like, this guy's bad. This guy's a pretty bad guy. Like, I want to see what else he comes up with. He's creative with his badness.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wanted to see. Kind of like Sid from Toy Story. You want to see what he comes up with next, even if he's terrible.
God.
Anyways,
do you want to talk about who you think will be on the Iron Throne?
Sure.
Lots of people were saying Sansa.
I don't want that.
He wants her dead.
In the end, I want Cersei to win.
Whoa.
Yep.
Evil.
And I want her to, like, be horribly unhappy. Like, she wins, but she is just, like, she's already one of the most unhappy people in this entire show. Like, her entire reality is just like, she's driven by one core principle. Two, one, the Iron Throne is my fucking throne, and I will pass that throne to my baby.
Yeah.
That is her entire drive. I want her to win. I want all the good guys to lose. I want Jon Snow to die a terrible, like, fucking, like, embarrassing death. I want him to be, like, begging for mercy as he dies. I want Daenerys to have killed him by accident. Like, I want the worst things for all of the characters.
That would be
except for the worst character, Cersei. I want her to win. That's my kind of media. I get off on tragedy. Shakespearean, like, Titus style tragedy. Horrible shit. Give that to me.
I cannot comprehend this.
It's why I loved Game of Thrones, and I still enjoy it, but god damn it, give me that old time. I get shivers from, like, the nightmares that I'm going to have about just how unjust, like...
I do think that would be great.
The best moment in this entire series, no, two great moments, my favorite moments in this entire Game of Thrones series, Red Wedding, Belly getting stabbed, that made me back off in my seat. I was, like, horrified.
Yeah.
Horrified.
Yeah.
By what they did. And I was like, that was just like, this show will do anything, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It's
that
like,
was fucking wild.
Like, this is my horror. Some people like to watch horror movies because they like to be scared and don't know what's going to happen next. This is my horror. I don't like supernatural horror, monsters. I like stuff where you are afraid of what these characters will do and what the writers are capable of writing. Mm-hmm. And then the second moment was, and this one is really, like, this is the biggest one, is the mountain crushing that guy's, what's his name's head, after getting revenge. I hate no character in the show more than the mountain. The whatever he used to be. Now that he's just a zombie, who gives a shit, I guess. But, like, I hate him more than anybody in the whole show. Like, when you read what, I, like, read up on what the book said that he did, and just, like, God. And that scene was just, like, this moment of, like, finally some justice can exist in this world. And then there's that shot of the Lannister dad, the main Lannister man, sitting, watching it all, sitting there, like, as, like, he, like, walks around the guy and points at him and says, he admitted it, and, like, is pointing at him like, fuck you, old man, like, I got him to admit it.
Yeah.
When he had been denying, like, any of that was, like, his fault and stuff, and then, like, basically embarrassing him in front of everybody, and then he, like, just as justice comes to the world of Game of Thrones, he dies the worst way. The worst horrible way. It was amazing. It was perfectly horrible. It made me, like, it stuck with me for weeks after. I was like, this is...
Yeah.
It made me sad. But that's why the show was so good with its writing. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want. What I think will happen.
His head did explode as fuck.
I think you guys are probably right. I think Sansa's going to end up on the throne. I think that's probably what they're going for.
With Tyrion as her
that's what
husband.
The zeitgeist of the internet is. That's what everybody, like, it doesn't exist. It's not written in a vacuum. It's writing itself to be relevant in this world and almost as an allegory to what happens in our real world, I feel like, and that's where they're failing. The writers have this, like, sort of motivation, or they have an agenda, I feel like, to be this thing that people will look back on as an example of this era. Mm-hmm. As, like, the woman who has been the most, suffering the most, seemingly, some of the most through the entire thing, is going to finally get her, like, you know, shut it all down and be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Sansa power. And that's what they're going to do.
You
so
think
lame.
A lot of people have been saying Arya?
It doesn't make any sense. What kind of scenario would allow that to happen? That's a stretch.
Sansa would have to die.
Sansa would have to die. That's such a huge stretch. They're not even blood in any way. Like, Jon Snow's blood to the throne, at least.
But nobody really knows that.
In what scenario would anybody allow... Sansa has a case. She's the Queen of the North. She came back down and says, like, hey, we just saved your asses up in the North. I'm the Queen of the North. Now I'm the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Jon has abdicated. But he has his blood claim. Daenerys has a blood claim. Even a fucking blacksmith has a blood claim. But Arya has nothing. No, and Arya will not. There's no way she could. Makes no sense. I can't see a scenario where it makes sense. But this show doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah. Daenerys, yeah, is so dead.
Put little Robin on the
yeah.
throne. The kid who throws people through the sky vault or the sky window, the moon door.
Yeah.
Those scenes. Oh my god. So fucked up. Like, it's amazing because
Gendry?
The reason it's so great is because reality is fucked up. When you read some history of what kings have done in the past, like, I read this one thing about this is like almost more horrible than a Game of Thrones writer could come up with. A Chinese queen back in the day came up with a famous torture that her worst enemies, and sometimes it didn't even take much to be her worst enemy. Sometimes I think she did this to a woman who was her like romantic rival. Basically, if you crossed her, she would give you pig death. Pig death involved cutting off all your limbs, cutting off your nose, gouging out the person's eyes, and then cauterizing their ears shut, then letting them wallow in their own filth for like a week afterwards, still feeding them to keep them alive and giving them water, and just wallowing on the ground as a quadriplegic with no limbs, unable to see or hear,
Oh my
in
god.
pain on the ground. Empress Wu.
Is she the same one who would like get people to sit on their...
Oh no, that was an African queen. And it was only one time she did that. She walked into a meeting with male kings, and they did not provide her with a chair in order to embarrass her. So she ordered one of her male slaves to create a chair for her. And then when the meeting was concluded, she slit his throat and said, "I never sit on the same chair twice," just to as a power move, slit her own slave's throat. Anyways, fact is, that fucking pig death, like,
Yeah, that's
they called it.
insane.
Reality is even more horrible, and people like look at horrible things in Game of Thrones and say like they didn't need to do that. No, they didn't. But like, what are we watching this for?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what's his name in Breaking Bad didn't need to, I don't know, wear his underwear during scenes, but like it added to the like there's what's his name, like jackass in the wheelchair didn't need to like shit on his wheelchair in that scene as a fuck you to the cops, which is a horrible thing to watch. But what are we watching media for if horrible things, like, stop watching, go watch Sesame Street. These rants are going all over the place. Sorry, I'm getting a lot out, but we've never talked about Game of Thrones on the show really before, except for when we played the game. We would talk a little bit every so often about the show, but anyways, it was a good episode.
Yes, it was.
It just could have been a lot better.
This rant was as long as that episode.
Was it? It might have been.
Might have been.
Thanks for sitting through it. Lisa liked it.
I did see the Elmo do Game of Thrones thing. Did you?
No, what?
Yeah.
Elmo do Game of Thrones? Like official? Like they... Elmo Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Lisa is very soft. I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. And the only thing that I was upset about was the fact that more people didn't die. Really.
Yeah, everybody survived.
Yeah.
Because they refuse. Oh my god. Sesame Street did a Westworld thing?
Oh, weird.
I don't want to see Elmo. I want to see Grover doing a Game of Thrones parody from 4 years ago. I don't want to really make this a part of this. I'm just going to, without sound, just look at what this... Oh, it looks funny.
Oh, the Elmo one, I feel like is
Game of Chairs. So it's... I love Grover. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That was my rant. Becky was just here for the ride.
Yeah.
Becky
I'm just
is
here for the butts.
very similar to Ben in that if she likes something or dislikes something, She's just like, I don't know. I just disliked
just
it or I
really
liked it.
No.
And then sometimes you'll think for a long time and then you'll say, all right, now I have something to say. Once she's like really thought about it.
As soon as that show we were watching recently was over, I had a million things to talk about what I hated about it. And it took me 3 TV shows to finally come down.
Did you want to do a segment on that? We could do that. A review of Westworld. And Becky will do the talking.
I'm not very good
Because we finished the second season of Westworld as well. Alright, we'll be back then.
I need my phone.
I have to run to the washroom real quick. Be right back, guys. I didn't mean to have Overwatch as the name of this stream for so long because I really thought we were just going to watch Sonic, and this was a last minute change to do Game of Thrones.
I could talk about Game of Thrones and Westworld for hours. You're in the right place. The heck? I don't think we'll talk about SpongeBob. That's cool that it's the 20th anniversary, though.
Can you make popcorn?
What?
Yeah, we'll eat some popcorn. I don't know, I want a snack that's crunchy and salty. And I don't think we have chips. Goldfish. Maybe we'll get some shipments over someday in the future. Honestly, I don't really miss it.
I don't miss it either.
Goldfish were just basically crackers. They were fun to eat though. They were more fun than normal crackers because of how small they were. Oh man, I feel bad for people because I said that, like, you know, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, just tune out and you'll know when we're done talking about it. But how long did I talk? Like, that was longer than 20 minutes that I thought it would take. Yeah, I did not expect it to go that long. I hope there weren't people who really haven't seen Game of Thrones and are just waiting for Overwatch for a long time. Yeah, I might tweet out when I'm done going to placements. I wonder if there's a good Westworld trailer to put up so I don't have to rewind it constantly. That 2-minute trailer for Game of Thrones is a little difficult.
Can't you do that thing where it loops?
And not on here.
Oh, right.
I wonder if there's any long trailers. Extended season 2 trailer? Sure. Let's see if they have any logos at the end. They do. They have an annoying logo. That's not extended. Here it is. On Vimeo, that's even better. Can't right click on a PlayStation. The fuck?
Look at this world.
What the hell? PlayStation is not so great at things like this. Okay, it can't do 1080p apparently.
Look at this world. We built this world to... Look at this world.
Oh, it also has an ending that includes... I thought that Vimeo version would not include that. Super Bowl. So it was a Super Bowl trailer, technically. Oh, good. This one doesn't have any. But it also only comes in 360p. Oh, you know what actually would be better is just to play the Westworld intro. Are any of these actually the intro? They're just the music looped.
It's a little bit cold up here now.
Why not have the... If you're gonna put the music up, why not just have the animation as well? There it is. Opening credits. Sure, I'll just keep on clicking this back to loop. Such a great intro.
Are we gonna talk about season 1? Or should people mute if they haven't seen season
Just go where your heart takes you. If you haven't seen season 2, don't watch, obviously. Alright, here we go. You can loop videos by editing the URL. Okay, what's the edit then? Let me know what the edit is. Nice suggestion.
Dreams is adding new tutorials and templates this month. Planning alternative controls. Cool.
Anybody know how to loop with URL change?
Davo, put something.
And autoplay equals and loop equals 1. Oh my god, it's gonna actually do that. No. Holy shit, that was close.
Whoa, dude.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Fucking hell. Okay, is it gonna loop? It doesn't seem to work on PlayStation.
You could try add repeat between YouTube and the dot. YouTuberepeat.com.
Why? This might not also, this possibly won't work on PlayStation as well. We'll see. Is that the end? Oh, seems to have maybe worked. All right then. Hey buddy, I got buddies. I got popcorn because apparently we're in store for a Becky rant on Westworld. She has notes. So we just got done reviewing Game of Thrones, but then we talked about how passionate, the last time Becky was passionate about having some opinions about something, it was Westworld Season 2, which I loved.
I
had problems. And I had problems with it, but I really love Westworld. I love the concept, the setting.
So Westworld Season 1 was amazing. It was really, really well done.
And it stands alone as its own story if you want it to end there.
Please.
You can end it right at the last season, pretend that's it if you want.
Oh man, it was just so cool. The whole concept of their side of the story and the loops, and oh man, it was so cool. But then we watched Season 2 and I hated it. So
hated? Like no redeemable? Tell me what was redeemable to start. What did you like?
Ed Harris. His character was incredible the whole way through.
Man, I'd fuck that guy.
Yeah, man. I know. The story with his daughter was interesting. I didn't love her character, but
I liked her, but
I don't know. I thought that the development and stuff with them was interesting. What's his name? Robert. He
Robert
was
coming
good.
back, you liked it when he would have his quick scenes?
Yep, I thought that the Robert stuff was interesting, and
I loved the back and forth between Robert and him, like Robert, who doesn't exist, would be like,
Robert-
"You're not tricking me,
oh
Robert."
yeah, totally. Ed Harris and Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Ed Harris, slowly his character just gets more and more undone.
But
Uh-huh.
okay, and we're going like right into spoilers.
Yeah.
The fact that Lo was a robot was surprising.
That who was a robot?
Lo, the like that guy. You know that guy. The fucking guy who
Guy with the glasses?
yeah, Bernard.
Bernard. Lowe. Why'd you
I
call
think
him
that's
Lowe?
his last name.
Oh, okay. Bernard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that is a pretty good impression. Yeah, he is a pretty
The
tortured
entire fucking second season is like him like, oh, so confused and
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's pretty rough what he has to, like,
I don't care.
he had to reprogram himself.
That shit went on for way too long.
Okay. This is like a hit piece. It's like blow by blow.
Yeah, man.
All right. First of all,
Dolores's monotone voice made me angry.
okay.
I hated
So it got on your nerves.
every time Dolores came on screen.
She overstayed her welcome.
I got fucking mad. I was like,
No,
yeah,
it's
I
mainly-
get it. You have like this chip on your shoulder and you're so
That's Wyatt talking, not Dolores, though.
fine. I fucking hate Wyatt.
Uh-huh.
Worst.
Okay.
I hated how vindictive the chairman woman was for seemingly no particular reason. You brought this up, and then I was like, yeah, for real. Even though she was the one that fucked up and is most likely gonna get fired.
Yeah, she seems to be like, I'm in
Why
control
is she
here.
reveling in all
She's
of
like-
this going down?
She's like, all right, let's get this done. Like, she's acting cool, even though, like, it's all her fault. She's
Yeah.
a CEO. It was her job to not let any of this happen. Like, you're fucked, lady. Stop acting like you're big shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next. Oh, fucking the Ellie character.
Who's Ellie?
She's the one that Bernard strangled. The one that's
tried
like
to?
so poorly written.
Yeah.
Every line of hers. I was like,
Well, I've talked about how it feels like the characters are written by two different teams. The ones that do everything to do with Robert, like the main plot, the only plot that matters, is written by one team, and then all these ancillary characters that are just there to act like young, like the modern day characters, like everything from the park security guy to the fucking CEO girl to like the
she's just
security.
like hot and doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and then the girl that you just talked about that got
Shut up,
strangled that
Ellie.
has the sort of like that's tight-lipped and like
Yeah.
the one who kisses the girl in the first scene she's in.
She did?
Yeah, she kisses the robot. She kisses the crazy,
yeah.
the weird one. Yeah, it's like they're written by a different
It was
team because their writing is
it
so
was
bad.
super flat and
It's action movie style. Their punches, their little punchy like
Yeah.
jabs that they put in there.
ugh, terrible. Okay, and then I loved Ed Harris. Every scene with him was basically gold.
And Harris, that was just I was just waiting for all his scenes like every time because
That's all I was watching for was for like Ed Harris's story to be played out, and some Robert stuff I
At the top-
was interested in.
I said I loved it, but really what I really love is just the overall plot, and that's what I was all in for. I was waiting through scenes just to wait for Robert and also Ed Harris's scenes. What's his character name?
Robert or
And I
Ed
just wanted to
Harris's?
know how
William.
it all like what, because I never saw the original, I never read the book, so I wanted to know what's the end game. What was Robert's end?
It was
plan?
all about Maeve. People were talking about how much they loved Maeve.
No, Maeve was bad.
And I was like, She's fucking terrible.
Maeve was great
She was
in first
amazing
season.
in the first season.
Her motivations made sense.
Phenomenal in the first season.
Yeah.
Second season,
Watching her figure it all out and stuff, and she could have been this epic, amazing character that like went off to like do cool shit in the real world or whatever, but instead she like gets held back, and then it just becomes a super heavy-handed like motherhood is stronger than like anything type of
Yeah,
thing.
I
Like
guess
it
so.
even simulated motherhood is the strongest thing. Like these people's feelings are programmed, and so like, but they're like, you would have done what any mother would do. You know more than anybody. You can see, you're Neo. You can see the code. You know this is fake, right? Like
yeah.
these are fake emotions. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, they ruined Maeve's character. She went from being this really cool, edgy, like clever, had genuine good quips, to this character that had like action hero quips and like really hackneyed old like. At least they acknowledged it at one point where she's saying to the writer guy, she says a line about like something like looks down at his dick and then looks at him and says,
And he's like, I wrote that.
yeah, he's like, I wrote that
How many
line,
times
and
does
she's
he
like,
say that?
she's
At
like, and then
least
she said it
twice.
was kind of contrived or kind of
Yeah.
trite. It's like, thank you for acknowledging that all of your fucking writing in this show is like contrived and trite, but like maybe they could make that as an excuse for all these like the Japan scenarios.
She was strong and amazing in the first season.
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
And then in the second season, they ruined her. She just became this like every scene ended with her with just being like, all right, let's get them now or something, like looking like cool.
Yeah.
It's like you just went through like every scene was a sequence of her being in control, completely out of control, barely gets by the skin of her teeth, then back to acting cool like she's never been on the ropes before, like had a chance of like being scared. It's annoying.
And so many times they kept having like these moments of exposition, and then the character giving the exposition. The character.
Becky hated this.
So they give a whole bunch of exposition, this one character, and then the other character who had the authority would be like, "It's not quite like that."
And then would
like do a whole fucking speech.
So why didn't you like it?
Because they did it so many times, and whenever in like this moment of like revealing plot would come, I'd be like, yeah, but that's not the case, and then the person would be like, yeah, that's not the case. You were so close, but
You hated it when Robert would do it.
Yeah, I hated it when Robert did it.
You'd be like, not so fast. I
Yeah.
have more to add to that. And like, Becky doesn't like being treated like she's stupid. So that's what it felt like. You were being over-explained and you were like...
Yeah. It was dumb. I think Fraser didn't mind it as much. But for some reason I couldn't stand it. These are my notes to the guys.
Oh.
Because they
You don't
wanted
have any
us
more
to
notes?
watch it.
That's all your notes?
No, that's all my notes.
What's off the top of your head then? Let's
It was fucking
get real wild
annoying.
here. Oh.
I didn't like to watch it. I didn't like any characters except for Ed Harris. I could have just like cut so much of it out, and then I didn't like the end. I didn't like the end.
Yeah.
Like after the end.
Hey, we have beer. To go back.
No.
Yep. We'll get to the end, I think, in a little bit.
Okay,
too.
that's why I wasn't saying much.
To go back to the Maeve thing, and that whole crew shouldn't have been involved. They shouldn't have been a part of the entire thing.
I thought that it was kind of cool how at one point the like douchey FBI guy, no, he's not FBI, security.
Yeah.
The security guy.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, that dude. At the very end, whenever he lets Maeve go, and he's like giving her that speech.
That was their last twist.
Yeah, but it's cool because whenever you're like in the brain shit, and Dolores is looking at the books and she's looking at the code, she pulls out a book with his name on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That is interesting.
Because remember, we were like, what's that name?
So maybe he was based on a person at one point.
Yeah, and he's a robot.
Like at some point he died and he got replaced by a robot.
I thought that was like, I was
Just
like,
like
oh,
Bernard.
okay. That's kind of cool. Shogun World, yeah.
Yeah, Shogun-
I wasn't
none
even
of it-
into that. I was like, this is fucking.
You could take them 100%
boring.
out of the story, and they do nothing.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
no bearing on the overall plot.
Which sucks because that concept is so cool. Like having sort of like these archetype characters in this scenario, because you have to copy. You can't like recreate everything. But there was just so much interaction between them that just
you know,
didn't make sense. I didn't think it was written well.
not to be petty, but like I feel as though the writers wrote a character that was smarter than them, and it showed. Robert has this like grand plan that's like deep and intricate, and you're like, that's what my motivation for watching the show was. It was like, oh, what did he have planned all along? Like this was a 40-year plan that he waited and bided his time, and it turns out he was a good guy in the end because he really believed in their freedom. And then you find out that Maeve was a big part. Like we'd all kind of been thinking, like Maeve is a part of his plan, and that's why somebody altered her code to let her, and that she was critical part. But then you see his awesome speech where he's like saying like you were the one, like you were
Right.
my best creation and stuff. And then like, what did she do to progress anything?
She sort of started the whole, like, she started getting people questioning the realities, didn't she?
But what did that do for anybody?
It started sort of like pulling at the seams. It started things unraveling.
The thing is, I think all of it could have happened without her doing that. I would even probably contend that, or I'm just going to guess, she was not a character in the books. I feel like she was shoehorned in there to be an extra element, just to add some more drama. And I think that most of what they were injecting her in was like really stretching, trying to make her relevant to the plot and to pull it, to reprogram some characters. They could have made it so that Robert reprogrammed any one of these characters himself. She didn't need to do it. And that said, Robert's plan, this genius, like most of his plan was based on like luck. How many times did Bernard almost die? And he's the critical element that
But
like
didn't he
unlocks the
die?
whole thing, that makes it all happen. But I'm saying like all the time that it takes him to get to this moment where he meets Robert inside the other world, where he goes into the head thing,
There
zaps
is no
himself
book.
through.
Just
Okay,
the
so just
original
the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure Crichton wrote himself a book and then made it into a movie. He's crazy like that. But all of that gets him to that point to talk to Robert
Right.
was all like any like random time he could have been shot, and none of this would have come to fruition. And Robert's plan that he spent 40 years crafting had seemingly no fail-safes to. The thing is, like, when you think about what was Robert's true plan, like the last dying thing before he handed it over to the mechanisms that he had put in place, was to have all those guys, all those Indians attack. Which why did they attack? They were already ready to do so, right? Like that had nothing to do with Maeve. Maeve was already peacing out. She was going to the real world.
That's true.
That's what we thought his plan for her. That would have made sense. That his plan for her was to get her to leave. She was a Lazarus plan. Like if they didn't escape Westworld, if this didn't work out, at least the smartest, most intelligent, like uber character that what do you call them, hosts that he'd ever created would be out in the real world and see how far she gets.
Right.
That it was almost like his plan B or his side plan, just to have like split Hedges' bets. Instead, she comes back and
Looks for her daughter,
and
who she knows is not her daughter.
Season 2, I've said, feels like from beginning to end a show that knows that it's been picked up for 5 more seasons. It is not only biding its time, it is like stalling for time to try to draw this shit out.
Yeah.
Side note, logical note, since I seem to like to belabor these. How the fuck is Mount Fuji in the park?
Right.
Trying to just get over the logic, how this world works. Why does the weather, like, I guess maybe we can assume that this, like, Uber company, like, with so many resources is able to control the weather? What do they call that?
That was his
Technology?
plan for her, She made the choice to stay.
Um,
Okay, yeah.
that they're able to modify the weather and never have it anything but the same weather all the time. Okay, fine. I wrote that for them, by the way. I have to assume that. They never put in even a single line of dialogue that could actually explain that away. Which they could have, just to make us feel better, us, like, overthinkers. The other thing, though, Mount Fuji, if it is in there, to scale, in this park, they were somehow able to terraform fucking Mount Fuji. How is it not visible from Westworld? Which
Yeah.
is a walkable distance, apparently.
I mean, it took them a few days.
Mount Fuji
But
would
it
be
would take
visible.
us a few days to walk to Mount Fuji, and we can see it from where we live.
You guys think it's a future projection hologram technology. Another says that it's probably closer and not as big. It's just simulated size, like a model. This is reaching, I think. Especially the way that they showed it in the backdrop, the way it had clouds around it, and like that it was snow-peaked and stuff. It's like, but you could go on all day about the logic about Westworld. And I'm grateful that they just kind of threw logic to the wind and said it's much more interesting if it's physical based instead of virtual world based, like every episode of Black Mirror, because it's just more interesting with the physical element in place, and it's intrinsic to the plot.
Yeah.
I think they could have written some things to make it work better, but anyways, going back to Maeve again, which is my biggest problem with the whole thing. I was just waiting through those scenes to fucking end. How come they keep bringing the redheaded douche with them?
Yeah. For real.
How is he an asset?
Scientist, dude?
How is he an asset to Maeve and her people and her cause?
Yeah.
He's actually a
How did he
liability.
live?
He's actually, like, multiple times tried to sabotage the whole thing. And he's shown as he talks, that he wants to do it. That he'll do it again.
Yeah.
And, like, he's just biding his time for a chance to fuck over everything.
Yeah.
Why are they bringing him? Is he, like, did the writers think he's a fan favorite? People love this guy. He's so hilarious. They love him. So, like, we'll make sure that he stays alive and that he comes along for the ride.
And almost all of his
Can
lines.
you turn this? What is going on here?
I don't know.
How do you?
I can just
Becky's
push
thing
it.
is just going off like crazy.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Best moment.
All of his lines were shitty.
Oh yeah, he's a
Like,
shitty
they were
person. He hates
written
seeing him.
so
I don't want him
horribly.
around. He
Horribly.
made sense at one point to be in the plot. He's just a waste of space after that. But
Yeah.
so is her entire plot. One of the best scenes in the entire show, though, was why does this happen? Where they come to the realization that, what does she say to the Asian guy? And then he starts going like, she's like, no, you're not. Like,
Oh yeah.
what was that exact
was
exchange?
amazing.
For a split second, he thinks he
thought
might
he
be
was a host.
a
He
host.
was like,
Then he starts moving like a robot.
just like no.
And I was saying, like, that could have been, if that wasn't, like, that was a perfect example of something that if it isn't delicately held with the timing being perfect, it looks like a stupid joke.
Yeah.
That doesn't belong. It was done with, the actor gets so much credit. It was done with such subtlety.
Yeah.
And just, it was just so perfectly timed. And her response to tell him, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Was so perfectly timed that it was so believable and human that, like, it was
That
just the
reminds
best.
me of another thing that I fucking hated. Whenever Maeve is like lying there and her neck's all open and shit, and the guy working on her is like, I'm just gonna up the pain.
Yeah. Yep.
Why
Vindictive.
are all these people
Horrible.
such fucking terrible people?
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, this is gonna hurt you a lot. I don't need to do this, but I'm gonna do it. So,
Yeah.
like, see ya.
between him and the CEO woman, I was just like, their motives.
Yeah, they
didn't
just
make any sense.
Same with the guy who comes in addition to the CEO woman, who's like the fixer, the
Yeah,
cleaner
yeah,
upper,
yeah.
and they're all just such angry assholes. Like, they enjoy the idea of these hosts suffering, and like, you put in one character like that, I can accept it and be like, yeah, that guy's a crazy. And like, in this world where this type of a thing exists, you could see like the worst in humanity, where some sociopaths come in and really get off on it. For the majority of
and
the
the guy
people
who
to be
is
like
butt
that,
fucking the host as well.
butt
like,
fucking.
Yeah. There's
Who was
one.
that?
just one of the side
Oh
dudes.
yeah, one
like,
of the
there was
guys in
just-
the down below. Yeah, they're not just getting sexual gratification from them. They're like sort of reveling in the idea that like you're not. This is gonna suck for you. Like it was just really weird to write that many angry, horrible people in this world, in this workplace. Maybe it's a company culture thing. Maybe that's the problem. They have a culture problem. The fish rots from the head. She is just. I can't. I feel bad for the actress because I think she did a good job. I guess.
Maeve?
No. I love Maeve.
I loved her in season 1.
No, I'm
And
talking
it's clear
about
she is a good
the
actress.
CEO
the
woman.
CEO woman.
Lips McGee. Just I can't stand looking at her.
Yeah.
I hate her with a passion.
Oh, CEO or Ellie?
The CEO, the like.
Okay.
She's got big lips and she's black.
Yeah.
She's the CEO and she's just so like, oh God, I hate her.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm watching the next Men in Black. I think I'm off that actress. I can't.
Oh, she's in
No
Men in
offense to
Black.
the actress, but I just like I need
Charlotte.
like a 5-year break from her face.
Yeah.
Like it just I hate her with a
then
passion and not in a good
When
way.
they merged her
With Dolores.
so I was like, it's my ultimate hate.
Yeah,
like,
it was
she's
the perfect
talking
storm.
monotone and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
the
Wyatt.
perfect storm of
I was
like
like-
hate.
I will not watch the next season. I would like to forget this season existed because I loved season 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't, I mean, so you're not going to watch season 3 with me then?
I don't think I can. Like,
Yeah.
I really,
I'm gonna.
really.
It's on a
do
short
like
leash
it.
for me because it's kind of moving into a new era. They're gonna be like out. That's the thing. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch much. Like, if it starts impressing me right off the bat, season 3, maybe I'll keep watching. But they've explored what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
I mean, I know I'll sit down and watch the first episode with you, but like, I might have to peace out. And I don't. I'm usually the one that will sit through anything.
Mm-hmm.
Tessa Thompson is a really good actress, though.
I liked Ed Harris's daughter, and you hated her.
Ed Harris's daughter? No.
I thought she wasn't bad.
I thought it was. She reminds me of someone I know, and I couldn't like shake that person. But I thought that their story was really interesting.
Until the moment where it all went to hell, where he kills her, and then he like realizes to like maybe we can chalk this up to the fact that he's coming undone, that he's just going a little bit nutty, and that he can't see logic. But why did he think it was that big of a stretch that she could have known these things, having seen this thing?
Yeah.
He knows where he put it.
But
he knows that anybody could have found that.
He doesn't like remember that happened. His wife killed himself. So like
I thought he had a flashback where he's literally remembering that he put that thing to the side.
I don't think so. I think that was just for us to know. I don't think it was his flashback.
In addition, it wasn't believable that his wife would kill herself based on the images that she saw on the playback of what he does in
Well, he's
Westworld.
like scalping. I mean, Dolores.
Really? Like that's the worst thing that in her imagination. She talks. There's a line of dialogue that she has at one point where she says, "She's like, I don't know what you do in there in Westworld." Like she knows that Westworld exists. No doubt, it's part of like lots of conversations among people of what they do in there. All these rich people that she hangs out with and what you can do.
Yeah.
In her wildest imagination, she couldn't imagine that her husband ended up playing the bad guy and scalped a person at some point. Like that's horrific to her. In a world where Hitler is in history and that she's no doubt read about his atrocities, she sees this and is like,
Yeah.
like I could see if maybe the playback, like I guess him dragging Dolores towards the barn could like insinuate and her to believe that like, oh my God, like I had a feeling maybe, but I can't even believe that he's like committing sexual violence in there, and that's how far he's gone in that world as a bad guy. And that makes her want to commit suicide. But like the majority of what they're showing there of him just shooting Teddy and stuff like that, like he's shooting a random dude that isn't alive. Like that's
I think it was mostly the like image of him pulling Dolores to the barn.
I think they shouldn't have shown the tablet. I think they should have shown her reaction to it.
Yeah,
and then we could have imagined that when he went super dark, the day that he saw Dolores talking to another man and realized, you know, like that. Not only was his heart broken, his entire world kind of crumbled.
Yeah.
That he would go so bad that he would do some really bad stuff, and then I could believe like a look of horror on her face as she like reads or looks at this,
And knowing that
and then our imagination could
perhaps
come up
it's
with
been
like
going on for so long, and
yeah, then our imagination could have come up with some really crazy shit that we hadn't seen and believed he's been really horrible, and now that he's older and more like he's done it all, now he's a cooler older man who's like, I've done all the evil shit, now I'm just trying to find out what the end of the story is. That would be believable, but yeah, like have some imagination, writers, come on. But it's too bad. Like a lot of it was just.
I'm very happy that people quite enjoyed all of it.
Kind of makes me want to go watch the old TV show called. What's the show where they arrive on an island by biplane and their greatest fantasies get to be played out when they arrive. Like anything
Westworld,
goes.
1972.
No, it's like an old TV show.
Oh yeah, you did say TV show.
And it makes me want to see it. I'd always heard about it but never seen it. But it's like, and something always goes wrong, but they always learn something about themselves or something
Sounds
like
a
that.
TV show.
And it's a new scenario every episode. Is it Fantasy Island? Yeah, I want to see Fantasy Island to see how it compares or if there was any inspiration drawn from it.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like you say, it's more the fact that everyone else thought William was such a good guy and that everyone thought she was crazy.
So if she really,
I think that part probably, like him saying to her, like, "You're right. You see me. You know." I feel like that should have been the like point where she was like,
yeah,
"Whoa."
Him admitting it to her like that so candidly, I could see that having an emotional impact on her. But it was they had to add in this element of the thing and finding the thing.
Yeah.
Her finding the thing. Like it shouldn't have been so crazy. Like she is sure of his dark heart, and then just seeing it on thing drives her to suicide. It's just hard to believe it.
I guess maybe because like he admits to her, and then there's this solid confirmation. Maybe. And her own daughter was going to send her to rehab, but she did need to go to rehab, so.
But she said no.
That's such a good song.
One of my favorite characters that they
the girl
just,
with the snake.
The snake
Yeah,
tattoo
man.
got ruined kind of towards the end. Too many
Yeah.
cool lines, too many
Yeah.
action hero lines.
Yep.
They made she went from being mysterious to boring.
Yes.
They stopped doing the makeup on her eyes. They gave her bloodshot eyes, so now she's just like kind of just looks like a pale woman instead of like this really crazy like.
Oh my
woman.
god, the shots of them like going through their loop of shooting up the bank. Oh man. So fucking good.
Yeah, like that's what I'm in it for, is this like the scenario and the world.
And how it can be interrupted just by
Yeah.
anyone that is coming into this world, any of the like
Hosts.
humans. No, any of the humans.
Or humans, the guests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck's Williams?
Who the fuck's William?
Logan. Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. It's all. It's. And again, we're so passionate because we liked it so much.
I loved the first season. It was so good.
We've seen like it's still entertaining, and I've seen stuff that is way, way worse. But in those things, I just stopped watching them.
Yeah.
This thing, I was invested enough because I loved it, and that makes you more angry, sort of.
Thank you for bringing that up. The Paint It Black, like how they took modern songs and made them like
The anachronisms.
Yeah, gritty and western. Oh my god, that I thought was amazing. I love it when like any.
I think the creators or writers said that they were taking some inspiration from BioShock Infinite. Even they said that.
Really?
That the BioShock Infinite was an inspiration for some of the way that they did that.
That's cool.
All right, so that's our thoughts.
Yeah.
There's a little Becky rant, guys. I love that you had notes.
Of course I had notes. I'm not gonna fucking remember anyone's name or why I was so angry.
What made you angry?
I was furious. And then we watched Fraser
I
was
tried to get her in a better mood.
Yeah, Fraser was trying to like calm me down, and so he was like, okay, well, let's watch Robot Love, whatever the fuck. And he put on an episode and it was shit. And I was like,
Shouldn't like Robot.
This one?
The one episode.
This is what you're putting on to make me feel better?
So we watched Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and then
And she loved that.
Calm down a little bit. It was apparently some of the Robot Love, whatever. Some of them are good. But I think what we watched.
The first episode of Blow by Blow with Becky Blow.
Yeah, man, that was a rough fucking night. I was like pissed watching the last episode. I was like, really, you're gonna waste my time with this bullshit right now?
Isn't she an asshole? Like, God. Does she enjoy anything? Can't she let any people enjoy things? She have to break it all down? Jeez, man.
Yeah.
I'm just here to have fun. All right. See you guys later. Thanks for watching our mini review. Goodbye. All right, now I'll play some Overwatch.
Phew.
Can you go over and press the record button to stop it?
Uh-huh.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's kind of a new thing for us to go into big detail like that, or just a deep dive into reviews of things we've watched.
So I pressed stop recording.
Yeah.
Now I press start recording.
No, don't record. I'm just gonna, with Overwatch it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go live. I don't think I'm gonna play with turbos, guys. Again, I really need to get on getting the mic set up. It's a setup I don't have yet where the turbos can hear me and the audience can hear the turbos.
We haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody yet. Are we gonna watch the dev video first? The dev update?
All right.
So do you want me to press record?
No.
Okay.
You can hop in.
Hi.
I do plan to play with turbos again, guys. It's one of those things I just haven't gotten around to getting a mic set up.
I have opinions.
When you do a 6 stack and you're not communicating, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage. Alright, I need to bring up the play Overwatch thing then.
And did you change?
I should.
Okay. The dev update has Torb in the thumbnail.
Thank you. I guess it's right there. All right. I guess I'll change the name of the stream. Still have not seen Bohemian Rhapsody.
We haven't been to the movie theaters since we moved to Japan. There's tons of theaters we could go to around us, but we just haven't. Anything going on in Tokyo with the new era?
No Japanese movie theater? Yeah, they don't have one in the whole country.
I know that people were in Shibuya for the countdown.
That's funny that people did a countdown. Because, like, technically the Reiwa period didn't begin until the moment he took the throne, so
Yeah.
a countdown doesn't make sense.
No.
At all, but people want to have fun.
I was on the phone with my
That's
mama,
okay.
and she didn't know that there was a new era. And so my saying that it's an end of an era went over her head. Are you going to tweet about doing placements? Oh, that's what he's doing right now. Ah, I get it. Ian kid. No, we've not gone to any Japanese movie theater. Which is pretty crazy because we have a really good one, like 7 minutes from our house. It's been raining like crazy, so I mean, it's Golden Week.
Okay.
Most people have the days off, but it's been sort of dead. Dewa, speak of the devil.
All right. Hey guys, people tell me there's a developer update, so
That's
let's
a
see
hairy
what
man.
this intern has to say.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? This is Jeff from the Overwatch
Jeff.
team. We're here with
I didn't
an
recognize
awesome
him.
I
update.
know.
This one's going to be a bit of a surprise for you all because we have a brand new feature coming to Overwatch and one that's really exciting to us. So the feature is called the Workshop, and the Workshop is coming to the game browser. Now, I know there's immediately a ton of questions about what is the Workshop. The Workshop is a scripting mode that will allow you to make custom game modes within the custom game browser, but also allow you to do really cool things like, for example, you could even prototype your own Overwatch hero using this system. So I'll give you a little bit of history
Mario
about
Maker.
how we came up with this idea. We have two amazing programmers.
Just
one by
when
the name of
Dreams
Dan
thinks
and
it has
one
the
by
drop on a
name
new
of Keith.
genre.
And we gave them some free time to work on whatever they wanted. And these two programmers were really familiar with working with our scripting system that we use to make the game. And they said, wow, it would be super cool if we gave the players some of the power that we have as programmers and as game developers to make whatever they could come up with, wherever their imaginations would take them.
And they came in my office
So
and said,
Keith
wow,
and
this would
Dan
be super
put
cool,
a
Jeff. And I
custom
said,
layer
wow,
of
that's super cool.
interface and a custom scripting system on top of the one that we use to make the game, so that all of you on both PC and console can start creating your own game modes. So the system is really powerful, and I have to warn you up front,
Guys like
this
my
is more
little
of what
legs.
I would call a power user feature. The people that I think this will speak to most immediately are people with some experience with other scripting engines that are available publicly on the internet, or people with programming backgrounds. Really, anybody who understands the logic of game making and how game events are
This
sort
is
of
crazy.
chained together will have an easier time creating things. Now, Keith and Dan have done a really good job of making the feature
Okay,
as
so-
accessible to everyone as possible. And we also plan on putting a special forum up on the Blizzard website that allows you to interact with us and ask us some questions on how to use it. But you might be wondering, like, examples of some of the things that you could
Is
make.
somebody already working on
And
Battle
we're gonna
Royale?
put some examples into the custom game browser.
That's what I'm waiting
so
for.
that way you can open up modes that we've already made and see exactly how they were made and start tweaking them yourselves and sort of adjusting different variables to have different outcomes. So one mode that's really fun and we look forward to seeing you kind of tweak and do your own thing with, we call the molten floor. And in this mode,
floor is lava.
anytime a character is on the ground, they catch on fire. So you can imagine how fun a game mode could be with characters like Farah and Lucio who have the ability to stay off the ground. You could make something really interesting and special there. we see a lot of you trying to create modes like hide and seek in the game browser, and now you can make much more powerful versions of hide and seek. And then we have a game
boring
mode that I
game.
just think is awesome, and we'll probably include in the arcade at some point, called Mirror Deathmatch. And Mirror Deathmatch I think is really fun, and what that does is it's free for all deathmatch, but every character, every player in the map plays the same character for 1 minute. So for 1 minute we're all McCree, then it switches over, and next thing you know we're all Hanzo, and then it switches over and we're all Ash. So it's a much more balanced version of free for all deathmatch. Something that I've read on the forums and in social media from all of you is that you love mystery heroes, but some of you would like to have a version that you call balanced mystery heroes. And you've talked about, what if mystery heroes had a certain number of tanks and a certain number of supports, so at any time the two teams were relatively balanced, even though that there was random heroes happening. Well, with the workshop, you could create that exact mode now. And you can decide, do you want 1 tank or 2 tanks or 3 tanks, or 1 support, 2 support. It's really up to you.
They could also do
and it's very easy once you
asynchronous
set up the mode to
multiplayer,
change some of those variables. Now, for those of you who are familiar
Dead
with
by
game
Daylight,
logic,
like
and
one player is
scripting,
overpowered
or familiar
and
with
a bunch of other
programming,
players
you'll know that
are
as
weaker,
you're working
need to
on
work to
creating
take them
something
down.
custom like this, you often need to go through and find out why it's working or not working just the way you intended. And programmers in the audience will understand what I'm talking about when I say you need a debugger, something to help you find any issues that you've created in your
They're
script.
kind of like,
Well,
bitch,
luckily the
you keep
workshop
throwing out
is
these
coming
ideas,
with what we call
and
Workshop
you're saying we're not
Inspector,
doing it, so
which
now
is
you
a
do it.
custom debugger
Yeah.
You do it.
that will allow you to run your
and
game
steal the
mode,
bugs and
and
all
it
the
will
hard work
report
that
back
goes
to
into
you
it.
why
cunts.
certain things
Yeah,
are
bitch.
happening, or sometimes it's even more important to know why aren't they happening. You expect a certain thing to happen and it's not. So we think that will be really cool too and really helpful for you. One of my biggest hopes is I know this is a power user feature and there's some technical knowledge needed to use it, but my hopes is that some of you have never gotten to play around with creating game modes and creating game logic, or maybe prototyping a hero. This can be the first time that you can open up one of the existing scripts that we have, take a look at it in the workshop, and start to
I
learn
would like
how
to see
we
somebody
made it.
take
And
May
maybe
and modify
you'll
her to be
realize
more
that
like
you
a
too could be a game
pyro
developer
type character.
someday, and you can make really cool stuff.
Treat her ice beam
So
like a
we're
flamethrower
hoping
and see how
that
that
this
plays out in the
opens
game.
up a whole new wide array of game modes that the community is going to create, and that there'll be some really fun stuff out
You
there
can
for all
only
of you.
customize our
Now,
outfit. You
I
can't
also need to
customize
put this in the
each
right
hero's
context. This isn't a
pre-existing
map
kit.
editor. You won't be able to create custom geometry or import art into the game that doesn't currently exist. It mainly allows you to control the game logic behind game modes and what's happening with different heroes. But trust me, it's extremely powerful, and we expect you and are very excited for all of you to do great things. So we hope you enjoy it. All of the work that you create on the PTR is going to be able to be copied over using a share function that we're adding. And the share function is really cool because previously, if you had a really good rule set in custom game, it wasn't trivial to share that. Now you'll be able to generate a code and put that code in, whether it's on PC or console, and it works on both of those, and create this custom game all over again that you've either gotten from somebody else or created yourself. So we're extremely excited to see
That's
what you all
pretty
do
cool.
with this. We
That's
hope it
very
opens up a
different.
whole new world of Overwatch to you all, and we hope you love and enjoy the workshop. Thank you.
So it's kind of going the way of a little bit like TF2 did, opening up development to the community. We'll see if they take on community ideas and publish them on the official game, and if they reward the creators who make it, because technically anything you do in there is definitely not yours.
Yeah.
They can take your work and just like run with it. And nothing you can do about it. There's probably a TOS that actually states that.
Yeah, probably. Reddit's been blowing up with a bunch of fun modes.
It's pretty interesting.
They made Bastion into a flying tank.
Sounds like an easy fix. All you have to do is just let him have unlimited turret mode, or like ultimate, and just give him no gravity. I want to know about the complicated stuff. I would like to see if somebody can make a battle royale mode make sense in Overwatch. The key to battle royale is that you pick up weapons, right? So that's the thing that would be the hardest thing for them to program, is for that to make sense. Like, how do you place? And I don't know if you could even do it, because Jeff says you can't alter the world.
Right.
You can't add assets. That's different from what TF2 did. TF2 was mainly based on people adding assets. They would do the graphical makeup, and then it was TF2 programmers that would decide what the properties of those graphics would be.
Right.
When somebody designed a new weapon or cosmetic. This is kind of going another direction. Interesting. Not really relevant to me. I'm not going to do that, and I probably also won't. I wonder if it'll even come to console. I doubt it.
Well, he was saying everything is on PC and console.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
It's all going to be on PC and console?
That's what he said, right? I thought he said it.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's coming to console.
But you won't be able to program on console, so it'll have to be they patch over or port over. There's no way they're going to let you program on console.
I thought it sounded like you could. I don't know anything
how they
about
do
programming,
that.
so I don't know. You will be able to make stuff on console.
That'll be interesting to see how they implement that, because like as we've seen with Dreams developers spent like 7 years developing a UI that makes sense for programming on a console. Unless Blizzard's had this in the works for a very long time, I don't see them doing something that makes a lot of sense
I wonder.
to code on console. But we'll see. Open the disc. All right, guys. I'm going to be back with my Season 16 placements after this. Stick around. All right, guys. I'm going to actually stop the stream for a moment because I need to switch connection over.
And I have to leave.
And Becky's leaving. All right. Be back in just a little bit.
Bye. Love you. Bye.